Hello there, hello there, hello there, hello there. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to the Agostino Zinga Show, starring your host, Agostino Zinga, and this is episode number 998. Yes, you heard it, episode number 998 of the Agostino Zinga Show, coming at you live and direct from an undisclosed location somewhere within the depths of East London. How you doing? How you feeling? How you doing? How you feeling? Great, good to know. Great, good to know. How am I? Absolutely fantastic. I've not had a better weekend than this in a long freaking time, especially considering my bad run of luck in terms of injuries and sicknesses and stuff. I've had a pretty decent weekend. My back is healing up slightly. I've seen some slight improvements, especially since I've got this heated blanket that's really helping to kind of unpinch that nerve and, you know, deal with that little sciatica thing that I have going on in my back. My elbow's still feeling a bit jammy. I've been able to lift weights or to really fully extend it or to do anything strenuous with my left arm, unfortunately. But I am seeing another specialist again on Friday, I think. Yeah, Friday. So I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully I'll get some answers and some solutions soon. But it's been a great weekend. It's been a great fucking weekend, and it's honestly, the weekend was topped off. Cherry on top was United beating Arsenal 3-2 away from home. United, my beloved Manchester United, beating Arsenal 3-2 away from home on the Sunday. Beautiful result, beautiful performance, and just one of the best feelings ever, to be honest. One of the best feelings ever to see this United team finally starting to play some good football, putting in some good performances, and kind of proving me wrong. I'm not going to lie. I was definitely one of those people that thought this team didn't really have a lot of good players. Was of the thinking that we did need a really big overhaul, which we probably still need anyway. But I feel like these past performances, the ones against City, this one against Arsenal, it's proof that there's something there. These players are not that bad. They're not as bad as they were showing under Amarin, which is kind of concerning. I'm not going to lie. It is concerning that the performances have been night and day. Yes, I know the formation has probably played a big role, because from the outside looking in, it does look like the players look a lot more comfortable playing in this formation. We're kind of basically playing a version of a 4-4-2. Maybe you can call it a 4-3-3, but essentially these players look a lot more comfortable in that formation than they did previously, playing 3 at the back or whatever it was going on, or 5 at the back, whatever Aaron was trying to do. I feel like they just naturally just fit into this formation. They don't have to maybe think too much about tactics, about where they're meant to be. It all kind of comes to them second nature, I think. I'm not really too sure. Again, I may be reading too much into it, but they do look a lot more comfortable. I don't think the quality has improved that much greatly. I think the players are still the same. They just look a lot more comfortable, a lot more confident on the ball. So that's really good to see. But let's just get right into it. Let's get right into it. I've got a lot to cover, a lot to get into. So please sit back, relax, and yeah, let's tune into the #1 cultural commentary show in the world. Let's freaking go. So obviously, the first thing I want to talk about is United being Arsenal 3-2 away from home. 3-2 away from home in maybe one of the best Premier League games I've seen this season. This might have been one of the best Premier League games I've seen this season in terms of it going back and forth. The fucking entertainment factor was on number 10. I thought the quality level maybe wasn't 10, maybe it was on high 8 from both sides. I'm one of the people, I'm going to say something kind of controversial. I don't actually mind Arsenal the stoketification of Arsenal. I don't mind it. I don't mind this way that Arsenal play, where they look more dangerous when they're like whipping in corners and free kicks and stuff and set pieces. I don't really mind it. For the longest time, I think a lot of people, myself included, would criticize Arsenal for only playing one way. They could only play, like, you know, basically possession based football, loads of one touch, tiki taka, that kind of way of football. And they get criticized for only playing that one way of football, right? Like, I remember there was a period in time when, I don't know, the era when Thomas Rosicky was at Arsenal, where they'll get criticised for maybe passing the ball for trying to pass the ball into the goal, not willing to take shots, not willing to really kind of go for the jugular, always wanting to score the perfect goal, the prettiest goal, the most aesthetically pleasing goal. But I feel like since they've added this element into their play, where they kind of rely a lot on set pieces. They have a lot of strong players in the air, like Gabriel, Saliba, Declan Rice, Marino when he plays. Like, a lot of players that are really good on set pieces, great corners. I don't really mind it. I think it's good. And I think for the majority of the first half, what they did really well, to be fair to Arsenal, for the majority of that first half, maybe the first half an hour, they were really keeping us at bay with their possession. It wasn't really a lot of free kicks and corners. Yes, we gave some away, but I felt like they looked really dangerous for the first 30 minutes, mostly due to their possession-based football. They were giving Saka the ball, and I think Saka was ripping into Luke Shaw for the most part. I thought Saka got the best of Luke Shaw for the first 30 minutes, looked very confident. Every time he took Luke Shaw on, whether he was cutting inside or going outside, he looked very comfortable. I was actually kind of surprised how comfortable Bukayo Saka looked when Luke Shaw showed him to his right. Because, you know, you think, oh, because he's left-footed, if you show him to his right, he's not going to do nothing. But Bukayo Saka looks like he can go either direction, which is fucking great to see in terms of his, you know, in terms of his skill set. But I felt like as soon as we weathered that storm, as soon as we weathered that kind of early storm and then we got on the ball, I think it was clear to see the players kind of starting to realize that Arsenal didn't really have much else to their game. You know, if they couldn't really hurt us in open play, it was going to be unlikely they were going to beat us with set pieces. So I feel like the kind of momentum of the game, although we went behind obviously, I feel like the players were still somewhat confident, because I feel like once they know when Arsenal had the ball in open play, they weren't really that dangerous. But we had to weather the storm. We weathered that first half an hour storm. Some people are suggesting that we probably were too respectful of Arsenal. I don't think so. I think Arsenal at home, they've got a formidable record. But before yesterday, they hadn't lost at home since May. Usually when they score first, they always win games. I think there was a graphic that came up on Sky Sports that said 24 times they've scored first in the league. They've won 24 times. So they're a pretty good side. You know, they're not top at the moment for no reason. Arsenal are a really good side. So I think they did really well to keep us at bay, hold possession. They stretched us for the first half an hour. Popped the ball around really well, and if anything, the goal, although it was scrappy, I think was like a consequence of a lot of their good possession, a lot of their good attacking play. But unfortunately for Arsenal, they didn't capitalize on that. I don't know why. That was the big mistake they made. They did not capitalize on that early domination, the early possession domination that they had. The fact that they had us against the ropes, the fact that we couldn't get out on half, the fact that we only maybe had, if I'm not mistaken, I think we had like one shot or two shot on target in the first half. I think so. Maybe one shot in general towards the goal. I'm sure it was something crazy. We couldn't get out of our own half, and I think Arsenal missed a trick because they should have put us to the sword. Once they scored that first goal in the first half, they should have went for the second. They didn't. They decided to make a lot of sloppy mistakes at the back and in midfield. I was actually surprised, by the way. I was pleasantly surprised by how ordinary Arsenal were in midfield. I'm not gonna lie. I've always been the big believer, and this is again, maybe because I don't watch Arsenal enough. I've always been the biggest believer that I think Declan Rice doesn't get utilized enough. I think Declan Rice should be playing in a far more advanced position. He should maybe be playing or occupying the places that Odegaard occupied. But because Odegaard is there, it's hard for Declan Rice to really flourish. I think Declan Rice is probably one of the most dangerous players for Arsenal. Really all-round player, can hurt you in the box running in late, can hurt you with shots from outside the area, can hurt you aerially, great crosses, great set pieces. Like, Declan Rice is definitely that guy. But I think apart from Declan Rice, I don't think anyone in that Arsenal midfield really hurt us. You know, Zubimendi and Odegaard were kind of ordinary. And I felt like they kind of, you know, they kind of started making a lot of mistakes in the midfield, started to make some mistakes in the back, loose passes that I think encouraged our players. Of course, we pounced on the mistake by Zubimendi. Terrible mistake by Zubimendi. He passes the ball square. Mbeumo runs onto it. Again, big up Carrick too. I think it's something that he's definitely imparted in his team. We're definitely pressing really well as a team. We're on the front foot. We're looking for the mistakes. We're hunting the ball down as a team, as a unit. You're not seeing what we used to see before with Bruno just running around like a headless chicken, or like Ahmad doing it. I feel like everybody's doing it, and the triggers are usually the strikers. And then Mbeumo kind of was triggering the press, and then eventually Zubimendi made the mistake, and Mbeumo ends up capitalizing on that, and very coolly, a cool finish, because that was kind of pressured, you know. It wasn't an easy finish. He went around the keeper, and David Raya for Arsenal might be one of the best keepers in the league, and he made him look quite silly. And I think it was a Saliba or Gabriel was sliding in last minute, who could have blocked it, and he ended up kind of passing into an empty goal, and I was relieved. I was like, okay, thank God, because it was kind of, I wouldn't say it was against a run of play, but we were under the cosh for half an hour, 40 minutes. Arsenal was spanking us. So I thought that goal before the first half gave us a chance. To get something out of the game. Because I feel like if we go into the first half 1-0, it's a whole different story. We go into the first half 1-1. But then the second half starts. And I thought we started the second half really well again. Like on the front foot, honestly. The attitude of this team under Carrick, the attitude of this team post fucking Amarin has been so fucking wild. We start really well. Second half, we're popping the ball around. We're doing fucking great things. And then out of fucking nowhere, Patrick Dorgu scores one of the greatest goals I've seen away from home playing for United. And I think I mentioned it before, or maybe on a pod, maybe I mentioned it on Twitter or something. I forgot, but I think I mentioned something along the lines of, I remember seeing a clip of like Tony Yeboah. Remember the old school Leeds striker, right? Big up Leeds legend Tony Yeboah. He had that iconic strike where he kind of smashes it from like 30 yards and it hits the crossbar, hits the line, hits the crossbar, it kind of bounce up and down. I feel like players don't really score those goals anymore. Batistuta used to score those type of goals back in the day, like those kind of bangers. Gareth Bale used to score those type of goals where they hit the underside of the crossbar and bang up against the fucking, and bang up and down the line, innit? Or inside the goal. There's just something about them, the power, the direction. So seeing Patrick Dorgu kind of like, slice the ball and it ping over of David Raya, again, a keeper that I really rate, over his arm, hit the crossbar. Wow. And Patrick Dorgu was getting absolutely destroyed by our fan base for being a pretty ordinary, left wing back, right? And so far under Carrick, he's now been turned into a left winger, right? He's been given no responsibility to really be a traditional fullback. He's now been told to play further forward. And you've seen some of the work that he's been doing himself with his coach. I think there was a clip going viral recently of him in the Balenciaga hoodie, training with some coach and practicing little drills and attacking things. And I think he's paying dividends because he's always had attacking instincts anyway. But I think that little bit of polish, those instincts or those bit of trainings that he's been doing to end up in the right position really paid off. Bruno Fernandes again, really good, popping the ball back and forth. So I think they had like a couple 1-2s between each other. The ball sets up to him again, kind of a bit fortunate with the kind of a handball. I think it would have been a bit soft. I think if Arsenal scored that and it gets chalked off, they're going to be pissed. I think that's a bit unfair to say that was a handball. I don't really personally think so. I don't think he really gained a big advantage from having his hand there. I think more so it kind of brushed along his kind of arm, leg kind of thing, but I wouldn't say it was an intentional handball. And then the finish, man, the finish. Just to quickly mention on Bruno, do you see how much better Bruno Fernandes looks when he's playing further up the pitch? Do you see how much better Bruno Fernandes looks when he's playing further up the pitch? This is what I've been saying as one of the biggest Bruno Fernandes haters, as one of the fans out there that thinks Bruno Fernandes is overrated by our fan base and gets sucked up too much. I can still recognize his positive attributes, and his positive attributes involve attacking, involve influencing the game further forward up the pitch. You ask him to play as a midfielder, you ask him to play as one of two midfielders in the midfield, or one of the three midfielders in the three-man midfield, he's not going to do it. But if you get him playing as a number 10 right up further for the pitch, or you get him playing as like a second striker or as a false 9, he's really dangerous. And it's not surprised that he's starting to look better now playing for us, or like in recent games, because he's playing further forward and he's not being required to like dictate the play from the middle of the park, because he can't do it. He's too slow. He doesn't have the mobility, the dribbling ability, the passing range, the ability to check. He does not have it. But further forward, he has the instincts to pass the. He just has he just knows what to do. And that little 1-2 he had with Dorgu was fucking sublime. We score, great. We're still pushing. We're playing really well. Unfortunately for Dorgu, he gets an injury, right? That kind of leads to a few of our substitutions. Hopefully that injury isn't long standing. I thought Arsenal responded pretty well as well off the back of that goal, making it 2-1. They kind of started peppering us a bit more. Arteta went for a quadruple change. You don't see them too often, by the way. Arteta went for a quadruple change. I think they were better for it. I feel like they were better for the quadruple changes, especially Moreno. I feel like Moreno's one of those players who's kind of jammy. He's a bit weird. You don't really know what he does best, but he's a very, very effective player. Seems to always turn up clutch for Arsenal. Again, great. I think in terms of having ability to head the ball, strike it, I think he's one of those players that you can kind of always kind of count on. He came on and of course was able to score the equalizer, you know, some minutes later in the game, heading into I think the 90th if I'm not mistaken. And once they scored the equalizer, make it 2-2, a bit of me is like, oh man, it would have been nice to win, but this draw might not be a bad result. All in all, purposely, because I was thinking, okay, now Arsenal have got the draw equalizer, they're going to go for the jugger. They're going to really try and get the winner, which they did try and do. But obviously they were leaving some spaces in the back for the counter and whatnot. But I could have never envisioned that winning goal. I honestly thought the winning goal would come from Arsenal. More so because they were obviously, you know, wanting to make sure that they would keep some daylight between them and the chasing pack. I think they would have deserved the win personally. I feel like we played better overall, but I feel like Arsenal would definitely had the onus on them, you know, to make sure that they kind of left with 3 points. The fact that they didn't get over the line and then the drop, that winning goal from Cunha, man. I must have watched that like 70 million times. I think I've watched that winning goal from Cunha 17 million times now. I have a special place in my heart for midfielders, attacking players who can do that type of finish. That instep, that kind of like side foot finish. I think of Kaka. He used to be someone that could do that back in the day. I think of Ronaldinho. Used to be someone that could do that back in the day. I think of Pirlo. I think of Del Piero. Who else I can think of? I think of even Michael Carrick used to do that kind of finish back in the day. Like that ability, Thierry Henry, right back in the day. Like the side foot finish outside the box and the sound it makes when it kind of hits the bottom of the corner, because that's where the kind of the seam of the goal is. Pure and utter sex, honestly. That goal was so fucking hard. It was so fucking hard, man. And it's the way he gets the ball out of his feet. He picked the ball up from Mainu. I think Mainu kind of gets the assist. I wouldn't really call it an assist because he's like 30 yards out, but he gets the ball, he spins. It's just the speed he does everything in Cunha. Like sometimes he looks a bit booky, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a fan of Cunha, but sometimes he looks a bit shaky when he's on the ball. But I love his intent. He's always like going for it, you know. He kind of like spins, pops the ball out of his fucking feet, doesn't even look up and just like, do you know what I mean, just fucking side foot smacks it. Oh, and again, it's David Raya in goal. This isn't some joke, man. This isn't some joke, man. This is David Raya in fucking goal. One of the best goalkeepers in the fucking league. And even he can't get it. It's so deep in the fucking corner. What a goal. What a fucking celebration, right? It's the fucking biggest. It's the fucking biggest. Oh my god. I was going crazy, bro. I was lying in bed. I was lying on my couch with the electric blanket on my couch, right, to kind of, you know, ease some of the pain I had in my back. And I was in my boxers. I had my, you know, my top on, but I just took my trousers off so the electric blanket could kind of, you know, have as much close contact to my skin as possible. And the way I jumped up, bro, limbs, arms all over the place, screaming. I was going crazy, man. I swear to God. I wish I would have been able to go to a pub to go watch that game specifically, because that was a fucking vibe, man. That was so good. And then, you know, last minute winner. Even though there was 7 minutes of added time, I don't think Arsenal did much to trouble us. Gyökeres had a couple of chances. Gyökeres though, man, he looks shaky, innit? Like if there's a player that looks shaky, like I complain about Sesko. I'm still not too convinced about Sesko. I'm still in the camp of, I think Højlund is better than Sesko. I feel like we shouldn't have let go of Højlund. We should have probably kept Sesko and Højlund together and had them competing for the number 9 position, but it is what it is. So Højlund's gone now, but spare a thought for Arsenal fans. Spare a thought for Arsenal fans, because the Gyökeres that we saw at Sporting Lisbon isn't the same one we see at Arsenal, man. He didn't look that great when he came on. I thought, who was it came on? Who did? I think Moreno probably was their best player. No, or Saka maybe. Saka maybe might have been their best player. Odegaard kind of disappeared throughout the game, and yeah, man, I was just thankful that even though we gave them a lot of chances to score on the fucking set pieces, we gave Rare a lot of needless fouls, a lot of needless set pieces. They won a lot of needless corners. they didn't punish us. I just thank the heavens. I thank the heavens that some of our tackles, some of our aggressive play wasn't punished because they were not at the races. And it really goes to show you, like, if this Arsenal team ends up winning the league, man, if this Arsenal team ends up winning the league is a bit stinky. I think this, obviously our win opens up the title run, the title charge or whatever, right? Chase a lot more. But if Arsenal do end up kind of, you know, pipping Man City to the race at the end of the line, this is going to be one of the worst Premier League winners of all time. They're not that aesthetically pleasing to watch. They look quite ordinary. I'm surprised about how ordinary they are. I'm not going to lie. Considering how much money Arsenal has spent, I was really surprised by how ordinary they were, especially in the midfield. Especially in the midfield, I feel like they were very, very ordinary. If you can kind of nullify their midfield, if you can reduce the influence that Declan Rice and Saka have on the game, like, I thought a lot of their play was coming through Saka, especially in the first half. They just kept passing the ball to Saka on the right hand side. Saka, go do something, go make it happen. And he kind of did, you know. I think he had a pretty decent shot in the second half that Lemon saved. He was giving Shaw a hard time in the first half. But if you can weather that Saka storm, if you can weather the storm, if you can make sure you don't get any cheap goals from there, I mean, the deflections and shit, you can kind of nullify Arsenal. They don't really have many tools to their Arsenal. No pun intended. I was very surprised by how blunt they were as an attacking unit. I'm not going to lie. Very, 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 very surprised. But good game, man. Really good game. I'm very impressed by Michael Carrick. I'm very, 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 very impressed by Michael Carrick's ability to just get these players playing for each other, playing as a team unit, pressing together, dying to defend that goal. I feel like the attacking play is just, the way they're kind of getting each other is fucking phenomenal. Every time Cunha comes on, he looks like he's gonna do something. Like, these is 2 games in a row, Cunha's looked incredibly dangerous. Like, to be fair, all of our subs, even Sesko, who I'm not the biggest fan, I think Sesko played a part in the fucking Cunha goal, if I'm not mistaken, right? Sesko, I think, heads it down. Yeah, I think Sesko played a role in the Cunha goal. I think Sesko heads it down to Mano. Mano gets the ball, touches it to Cunha, and Cunha spins and hits it in. So big up Carrick for creating an atmosphere where the players that don't get picked, when they come on, they want to make an impression. They're really eager to, like, help the team, really eager to make an impression, make an impact. And so far, these substitutions have worked really well, man. Cunha came on and he was electric, bro. That winning goal, honestly, you have no idea how many times I've watched it. You have no idea how many times I've watched that winning goal, man. So again, what an incredible result. Happy with the result, way happy with the result. We're now in the top 4. We're actually now in the top 4. It's fucking crazy, man, considering how horrible and up and down this season has been so far. We're now in the top 4. There's a good chance we could solidify, even maybe if we're lucky and we put together a good run, there's a chance we could maybe solidify a good top 3 position. You never fucking know. But yeah, man, onwards and upwards. I'm also happy to see that online there's not a lot of talk about give Carrick the contract. I mean, everyone's kind of being calm. I like that. Thank you, United fans, because we can get giddy. I know I'm the same. We do like to get a bit too giddy, a bit too excited. So it's good to see a lot of United fans not being too overly excited and being like, yeah, give Carrick whatever he wants, just taking it game by game, enjoying what we're seeing so far, and seeing what happens at the end of the season. But what an incredible performance. What a great game. Great advert for the Premier League. I think I saw a stat the other day that said something like this was the most watched game of the Premier League season so far. Like 700 million people watching or something stupid like that. Honestly, United, no matter where we are in the league, no matter what we're going through, Glazers or not, you know what I mean, these type of performances in the black kit. I actually want that kit now. I'm definitely gonna check my fucking AliExpress links or whatever. I'm definitely gonna check my AliExpress, my Youpu, right, my Taobao links to find out if I can get this black kit, because that black kit is fucking sexy. And whenever we go and play Arsenal at home or Arsenal away and we're wearing all black, it's always a madness. It's always a madness, man. Always a madness. So yeah, what an incredible game, man. What an incredible fucking game. Some stats here quickly before we move on. Team stats: 15 shots to 10 in Arsenal's favour. I'm surprised, I'm not gonna lie, it didn't feel like they had more shots than us. Interesting game. Shots on target, we had 3 shots on target and we scored from 3. That is frightening, bro. We had 3 shots on target and all of them we scored. Possession 57-43, I think was fairly good. They said considering we're away at home against Arsenal. Passes, they had 398, we had 355 again. Really good considering we're playing Arsenal. They're always good in terms of passing ability and possession play. What is it going? Pass accuracy, they had 87, we had 79. Not some greatest, but still good. Fouls, 11 to them, 9 to us. Yellow cards, we had 0, they had 2. Offsides, we had 0, they had 3. And corners, they had 9. They had 9. Like, again, I'm going to be in the minority here, but I don't mind the way they play, man. I'm not going to lie, I don't mind the way Arsenal play. I don't mind this Stokification of Arsenal. I like that they have a different tool in their Arsenal box, in their box to kind of hurt you. They just need to improve how they play in open play. That's it. They just need to improve how they play. No, because so far, what I've kind of observed is that all they do is just rely on the wingers. So if it's not Madueke, it's fucking Saka. If it's not Saka, it's Trossard. They kind of rely on the wingers to create their chances and cause havoc, cut the ball back in the box, someone running in, taps it in, a long strike from the outside of the box or something. But they need to find other ways to score goals in open play and not only rely on set pieces. But I actually don't mind the set pieces because they're very dangerous. Very dangerous. They kind of have everyone on the back post. They whip the corners or whip the fucking free kicks right into the fucking goalkeeper's area. You know what I mean? Cause loads of havoc in there, second balls, third balls and shit. I really don't mind it, but they need to figure out a better play to how to play in open play, because open play, they were pretty ordinary. They were pretty ordinary open play. So far, the league table, look at the league table. Arsenal first on 50 points. They're now only 4 points ahead of City, and I think they've got to face City soon, if I'm not mistaken. Aston Villa also only 4 points behind Arsenal, and we are in fourth position with 38 points, 1 point in front of Chelsea. Fucking crazy, man. Honestly, big up Michael Carrick, man. Big up Michael Carrick. I'm not gonna lie, it's crazy, man. Night and day. A penny for Ruben Amorim's thoughts, man. A penny for Ruben Amorim's thoughts, because this team is night and day compared to the team that he was managing. Absolute night and day. Absolute night and day. Moving on. I love you now so much, honestly. It improves my mood. It improves my mood tenfold when we play well. And I hate to be that guy. I hate to be that kind of fan that's mood is dictated a lot by my team. But it's true, man. If we play poorly, I can't watch match of the day. I'm in a horrible mood. I don't want to talk to anybody. I avoid a lot of like football coverage. I'm on Twitter or X Spaces, like just shouting with other people and other fans and trying to figure out through arguments and fucking debates what to do next with the club and what the solution is. It's so much better when we win. I can just relax. I can watch AFTV and chill. I can pop into Arsenal Spaces, hear them fucking fighting amongst each other. Like, oh, it's fucking great. Watch match of the day with my feet up. Honestly, man, I much prefer when United are playing like this. I hate when we're losing. It's so awful. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on. Big up everybody in the stream chat tuning in as well. Appreciate you. Big up everybody in the stream chat tuning in. If you're tuning in live and you're watching this live, I appreciate you. Make sure you smash the like, hit subscribe, all that good shit. Big up Gamebred Football, I see you. Big up WCK Glow, I see you. Big up Don Dotto, I see you. Big up AL Me, I see you. Who else to see you? On 10 Toes, I see you. Big up everybody. I see you. SSB, I see you. Big up YSW, I see you. And big up everybody else that's in the stream chat. I appreciate you all. Cool, let's get into it. Pharrell Williams sued by Neptunes producer or partner Chad Hugo amid split. Fraudulent conduct. Crazy, isn't it? So Chad Hugo, I feel like he's been having an ongoing beef with Pharrell Williams, essentially accusing him of like withholding royalties and shit and not paying him accordingly for the records that they made when they were together with the Neptunes. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Neptunes is defunct now. There's no more Neptunes. Pharrell just does everything by himself for the most part. I'm not too sure if he's allowed to use the title Neptunes, but for the most part, he doesn't really work with Chad Hugo at all since they're kind of, you know, split and the beef that they've had in terms of royalties and shit. But I feel like Chad Hugo's been filing these lawsuits for a while. This isn't the first time, but this has kind of been ramped up a bit more. So let's read the report here, courtesy of Billboard. It says, Pharrell Williams is facing a lawsuit from his former Neptunes partner, Chad Hugo, who claims a longtime friend has cut him out of their company and owes him as much as $1 million from the NYD album. By the way, man, if you're Pharrell and your OG, your day one guy is saying you owe him $1 million, he feels like you owe him, even if you don't think you owe him $1 million, sure, you just give it to him. No? Am I bugging? Even if you don't feel like you do owe him $1 million, if your day one guy is saying he feels like you do, surely you just give it to him. You're fucking Pharrell, man. You probably wipe your ass with fucking $1 million. That's nothing to you. Just give him the money so he can feel happy. Before Pharrell became a solo producer, him and Hugo formed a prolific songwriting duo for years, producing massive hits like Nelly's Hot in Here, Snoop Dogg's Drop It Like It's Hot, Gwen Stefani's Holla Back Girl, and Justin Timberlake's Rock Your Body. They also formed 2/3 of NERD, a hip-hop rock band that enjoyed its own run of hit albums in the 2000s and 2010s. But in the strongly worded lawsuit filed on Friday the Jan 23rd, Hugo accuses Pharrell Williams, his friend since their Virginia childhoods, of committing a wide range of legal wrongdoings against his former partner. This only happened. The music industry is just fundamentally just an evil place, isn't it? It's an evil industry, the music industry, because where else could two childhood friends who literally got it out from the mud, together, end up in a situation like this? Only music industry can poison someone and could make you, treat somebody that you see as a brother like this. Honestly, it's so fucking sad. It really is sad, the amount of people that get fucking done badly in the music industry. Williams engaged in self-dealing, concealed material information, and diverted revenues owed to plaintiff, writes Hugo's attorney, Brett Jane Lyman, of the law firm Monk, Wilson and Mandala. Such willful, fraudulent and malicious conduct warrants the imposition of punitive damages. Friday's lawsuit, obtained and first reported by Billboard, isn't the first legal battle between the two collaborators. Back in 2024, Hugo filed another lawsuit accusing Pharrell of fraudulently seeking sole control over the Neptunes name. That dispute remains pending at the Federal Trademark Tribunal. Okay, yeah, I remember. So Pharrell wants to have total control of the Neptunes brand, Neptunes name, trademark, which is kind of sad. If you're an old school Neptunes guy like I am, if you are very in tune and very plugged in with that whole era, if you were doing the whole fucking Star Trek thing, if you were wearing Billionaire Boys Club back in the day, if you were just following Pharrell's career early on, you would know how much of a important role Chad Hugo has played in the journey of Pharrell Williams' kind of, success and whatever else it may be. So it's really, really sad that we're in a position now where Pharrell feels like he is a Neptunes. It's no longer about him and Chad Hugo. It's all about just him. It's fucking sad, man. It really is. And I also think, just as a kind of observation here, thinking aloud, it's no surprise to me that Pharrell Williams's productions, remixes, whatever, right, his features haven't been hitting the same as they were in the past, now that him and Chad Hugo are not on good terms. I think there's a direct correlation to the lack of bangers that Pharrell was producing in recent years, as opposed to what he was producing back in the day when he was working with Chad Hugo, because that might be his secret sauce. Chad Hugo might have been his secret sauce, his secret weapon. But when you get money and success and fame, you start to think, nah, I'm the person that done everything, when really it was a collective effort. It continues here. But the new case broadens the fight significantly, with Chad Hugo accusing Pharrell Williams of withholding royalties and refusing to hand over documents that would help Chad Hugo figure out how much he's owed. Part of what his lawyers call a systemic denial of his rights as a partner. In one passage, Hugo's lawyers say that he's potentially owed up to $1 million in damages from 2017 NERD album No One Ever Really Dies. By the way, he's probably going to be owed way more, because back in those days, people were selling literal CDs, so he's probably been owed way more than $1 million. This sounds a bit like Joe Budden. I'm not gonna lie. Joe Budden did that to Rory and Moore, didn't he? He refused to give them the fucking the finances and stuff, the accounting, because they wanted to do an audit to find out how much they were owed and how much money the pod was making. Joe Budden just refused to give it to them and just fired them instead. So it looks like Pharrell's moving like Joe Budden. The plaintiff has not received this appropriate share of royalties in connection to the Neptunes and NERD album sales, released music, as well as the distribution from touring income and various merchandising deal. A spokesperson for Pharrell did not immediately return requests for comment on Friday. Let's continue here. Hugo and Pharrell were still working together between 2020 and 2022 when the Neptunes produced music artists like Megan Thee Stallion, Rosalia, A$AP Ferg. As recently as 2022, shortly before the duo were inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, Hugo told Billboard that he had recently been in recording studio with a fellow Neptune comrade, Pharrell Williams. But under the surface, conflict was allegedly brewing. Hugo's lawyers say that he had made repeated efforts starting in 2021 to get Pharrell to hand over monthly statements, books and records and royalty statements as required by their operating agreement. In August 2021, Hugo's attorney started sending Williams demand letters seeking financial disclosures, doing so repeatedly over the last 4 years. But they say that largely ignored them, only offering limited and incomplete documents. So Pharrell's definitely hiding something. Pharrell's unwilling to give them the documents to say how much money he's making, how much Neptunes is bringing in. So it's clear Pharrell's definitely scamming Chad Hugo to some extent, allegedly. Defendant Pharrell Williams' persistent failure to provide financial record constitutes a breach of operating agreement, says Hugo's lawyer. Plaintiff has been deprived of the transparency necessary to evaluate the buyout proposals, confirm the calculations and characterizations of the distribution owed to him, and assets and revenues. Amid the growing tension, Chad Hugo filed his trademark case in March 2024, claiming that Pharrell and his company were improperly trying to unilaterally register trademarks for the shared Neptunes name. As first reported by Billboard, Hugo claimed that the partnership required them to share the name rights. Applications that has been fraud in securing the trademarks acted in bad faith. That's crazy, isn't it? They agreed to share the rights of the Neptunes name. Pharrell's like, nah, that's my shit. At the time, Pharrell's reps downplayed the dispute, saying that they had repeatedly offered to involve Hugo and always intended to both men to share the ownership of the name. In September 2024 interview, however, the star confirmed that he and Hugo were no longer on speaking terms. I love him and I always wish him the best, and I'm very grateful for our time together. That's spoken like a true scam artist, isn't it? Like a true fucking finesser. Imagine scamming your day one like that, man. I could never. In a new lawsuit, don't get me wrong, you should never scam anybody, but I just can't imagine scamming somebody that you literally you went to the same school, right? Or you grew up in the same area. These are like childhood friends from Virginia. Like, they know each other well. Scamming your friend like that you know well is like diabolical behavior, man. In the new lawsuit, Chad Hugo attorneys say that the dispute was only continue to grow and that their client is owed substantial money. They say that they've seen no revenue at all since September 2023 from the NERD merchandising partnership, for instance, and they claim that they are owed at least $325,000 to $575,000 from no one ever. The potential damages over the album exceeding 75,000 to 1 million. As recently as last month, Chad Hugo's lawyer says Pharrell's attorneys promised to produce documents about the company's finances, but they claimed ultimately no documents were produced to resolve the situation. Notably, defendant Pharrell Williams' counsel admitted having difficulty accessing the documents, but acknowledged that such documents could exist. So just when I need to figure out how much money Neptunes is making, I need to get my finances in order, that's when suddenly these motherfuckers are struggling to find the documents, right? Motherfuckers. In technical legal terms, lawsuit accuses Pharrell of breaching his fiduciary duty, seeks an accounting of the royalties for both Neptunes and Nerd, and asks for a declaration judgment clarifying the rights under the operating agreement. After years of obfuscation by Pharrell and his team, Mr. Chad Hugo had no choice but to seek substantial compensation and accountability in court, said Lyman. We look forward to presenting the evidence and obtaining the full relief of the law provides. So yeah, man, sad how it ended in the end, and it's sad how it ended in the end, but I think this paints Pharrell in a really bad light. Pharrell's been making a lot of money for a lot of years. Most of it has not been just due to his own solo genius, has been, I think, in part due to his ability to kind of cultivate a team, have the right people around him, sprinkle some of his own star magic on top of it, and obviously bang, boom, there you go, star. But I don't think it's all been just him as a solo genius guy. So it's kind of sad to see somebody like him, because I'm sure Pharrell knows. Pharrell's not a dumb person, right? He's a very intelligent, smart dude that's been on the front, you know, at the forefront of culture for a long time. I'm sure he's aware that his success is not down to his genius solely. So it's really sad to see him do the people that are helping him be perceived as a genius, or helping him attain the success that he has attained, make the money he's make. It's sad to see him not do right by those people. You think someone like Pharrell will be a lot more aware of the role that others have played in his success and would compensate them correctly, or, you know, compensate them fairly without it having to get to this place, you know? But the fact that he hasn't, I think, is a good indication of just how much of a, unfortunately, bad person he's behind the scenes. That's the truth of it. It just proves that behind the scenes that Pharrell must be a bit of a piece of shit. And it also proves, it kind of proves what Kelis said about Pharrell back in the day. Let me see if I can get that up actually. It kind of proves Kelis on Pharrell. It kind of proves what Kelis said about Pharrell back in the day. We all kind of writ her off for being a crazy lady. But I think Kelis was definitely talking a lot of facts when she was, you know, criticizing Pharrell very, very early on. So let me see where I can find a clip of her. Is it this one? I think it might be this one. Yeah. Pick up Kelis.
Okay, so I just got off stage, but I got off and I saw these retarded comments. So let me just respond. There were some good ones too, but you know, we'll get to those after.
Pick up Kelis.
So here's the first thing. My hair is cute. Here's the first issue, okay? Number one, it's not even like, I'm a human being, so I get pissed off and I get ticked off, right? I'm an artist, so I am, as Erica said, I'm sensitive about my shit. The reality is, okay, is that my real beef is not only with Beyonce, because at the end of the day, she sampled a record, she's copied me before, she's done it before, so have many other artists. It's fine, I don't care about that. The issue is that not only are we female artists, okay, black female artists in an industry that there's not that many of us, right? We've met each other, we know each other, we have mutual friends, it's not hard, she can contact, right? Nico, who's what, 20, she's a young white girl, she reached out when she freaking, like, it's just common decency, right? It's common decency, especially because, as so many of you pointed out, as though I don't know, but let me help you, okay? I know what I own and what I don't own. I also know the lies that were told. I also know the things that were stolen. Publishing was stolen. People were swindled out of rights. It happens all the time, especially back then. So it's not about me being mad about Beyonce. Everyone's like, you're all sheep. And I'm talking to the people who are obsessed and blind, just like, like, it's so dumb. It's so ignorant. It's so ignorant. She's one issue because it was stupid and disrespectful and she should have at least reached out. But the real issue is the fact that the people like Pharrell and like Chad really is like an amoeba and just, he's spineless. It's a miracle he can keep his neck up. But Pharrell knows better. This is a direct hit at me. He does this stuff all the time. It's very petty. Very, very, very. And the reality is that it's frustrating. I have the right to be frustrated. Why? Because no one had the human decency to call and be like, yo, hey, would like to use your record. Which, by the way, the reason I'm annoyed is because I know it was on purpose. This is not like some, they were in the studio and it's, no, this was an on purpose direct hit, which is very passive aggressive. It's very petty. It's very stupid. And I'm going to say what I have to say. I don't mince my words. So all of you Beyonce fans, knock yourselves out. I'm not mad like that. It's not about me being jealous of someone using my song. That's the dumbest, most ignorant thing I've ever heard. Like, grow up. I was not thinking about her or no one else. Not even on no shade, just not thinking about living my greatest, best life, as I always do. So it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that from one artist to another, you should have the decency and the common sense and the courtesy to call, reach out, a manager, an agent, anybody just be like, yo, heads up, this is what we're thinking, this is what we're doing. Even if you're gonna do it anyway. Just common decency. Like I said, it's happened before where people at least had the wherewithal to be like, yo, using your record, we understand that like Pharrell totally swindled you out of your stuff. Just want to give the respect because that's what you do, right? No, that's not what happened. So grow up, okay? I don't mince my words. I say exactly how I feel, when I feel it, how I feel it. I don't care who likes it or doesn't like it. It is what it is. These are facts. This is not opinion, okay? These are facts.
Yeah, big up Kelis. I guess she was right. That was a clip from last year, I think. No, from 3 years ago. My bad. That was a clip from 3 years ago. That was a clip from 3 fucking years ago. So Kelis was always on top. She was always correct when she was calling out Pharrell. She was always correct when she was calling out Pharrell. She was always correct. Moving on, moving on, moving on. Big up Esquire. Big up Esquire. Esquire, the 15 items every guy should have in his wardrobe. According to Esquire.com, the 15 items every guy should have in his wardrobe. Let's read the article here. When it comes to building a wardrobe, knowing where to start is half the battle. You don't need loads of clothes to look good. It's common misconception that volume equates style. That's not true. Who says that? I don't think anybody misconceives that you have to have more clothes to be stylish. You just have to wear the clothes that you have well or have good staples. I don't think anybody thinks more clothes equals more style. Maybe trendy, maybe, but I don't think anyone thinks style equals more clothes. But anyway, but in menswear, there are a handful of timelessly brilliant items that can serve as a foundation on which to build a timelessly brilliant wardrobe. So where should you start? Here's a mix of the enduring classics and slightly more left field choices that are guaranteed to work. Consider them in your starting point or upgrade, and depending on where you're at in your personal style journey. The perfect double-breasted blazer. Yep, I agree with that one. That's an easy pick there. Again, I don't think you need to get you don't need to get a new one. A vintage one will probably do. So that double upgrade, a single-breasted navy suit. That also I agree with. I think navy suits are definitely underrated in it as an everyday kind of wear. Especially if you get one that kind of fits you right. Like, I think navy suits are way more versatile than black suits. Unfortunately, black suits you end up looking like Lex Friedman, looking like you're going to a funeral. But I think a navy suit you can definitely wear. You could wear a navy suit working for a startup. Most startups, startup culture in general is very casual. People are wearing hoodies and band t-shirts or t-shirts from apps and shit. But I think if you wore like a navy single-breasted suit to a startup, no one would look at you crazy. No one would look at you too crazy. I think you would easily blend in with your other colleagues. You could turn up in the full suit with a tie. If you go out after work, you can just definitely remove the tie, take off the jacket, roll up the sleeves, and suddenly, you're very, very relaxed. So yeah, I think that works well. Blue jeans, I agree with that too. I guess blue jeans, I guess it depends what you'd want, right? You could get, blue could basically mean light blue, dark blue. It could mean selvage, non-selvage, baggy, not baggy. So I guess that kind of equates to all things. Just a nice pair of everyday jeans. Chinos, I'm not too sure about. Chinos, not too sure. I don't think you need to have chinos in your wardrobe to be stylish. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think chinos are an essential. Cause I don't think chinos work for everybody. That's the problem. I don't think chinos suit every guy's frame. I don't think every guy has the ability to pull off a chino. So I think you're better off just leaving them. Even if it's a plain Dickies or whatever, I don't think every guy should be wearing Dickies or should be wearing, chino pants. I don't think so. I do remember back in the day, I don't know if they have them anymore, but back in the day, Uniqlo used to do a pretty decent chino. Like, I think it was like a Japanese made, a really nice gold button, great fit, great quality fabric. Used to wash really well. But again, I don't think they suit everybody, chinos. So I'd say that's not necessary. Casual pants that aren't jeans or chinos, I agree with that one. That pant there is fucking crazy, that double knee one, yeah. So a casual pant that aren't jeans or chinos, I agree. That double knee one this guy's wearing, they're really fucking cool. That green, I've not seen the green ones. Those look fucking beautiful there. Black loafers. Oh, black loafers though, man. Black loafers is difficult. I own a few loafers, right? I've owned over the years. At the moment, I only own one pair, right? I think I own one pair. Yeah, GH Bass. I only own one pair of loafers from GH Bass, but over the years, I've had loafers from GH Bass. I've had loafers from Dr. Martens. I've had loafers from Clarks. I've had loafers from who else? Anyway, loads of brands. And unfortunately, for me anyway, I feel like loafers are very stylish and amazing to wear. Especially you can wear them with jeans, with trousers. You can wear them sockless with shorts and shit. Great shoe. Unfortunately, in my experience, loafers are one of the most uncomfortablest shoes to wear daily. Loafers are just as uncomfortable as like Vans Authentics. No, Vans eras, you know? They have the same comfortability as a Van era or like of a Jordan 1. Have you ever worn a Jordan 1 all day? Have you ever tried to wear a Jordan 1 all day? With how thin the sole is and how if you're walking along pebbled roads and shit, you can feel every stone just piercing under the soles of your feet into the soles of your under the soles of your shoes into the soles of your feet. So if you can find a pair of loafers that are comfy to wear all day, cool. Personally, I haven't found them. I feel like loafers for me are like an 8 to 10 hour a day shoe, maybe less, maybe an 8 hour, maybe a 6 hour a day shoe. I feel like loafers for me are 6 hours per day shoe. More than that, I'm crying. My little toe is crying. The soles of my feet are crying. I'm crying. I can't do it. I wish I could, man. I wish I could. Derbies. I guess you could count. There's a Dr. Martens 14. Is it 1461? Does that count as a derby? Or is it Dr. Martin? Is it like 1461? I used to work there, so I kind of remember all these shoe names. If a 1461 works as a derby, then I guess. But I also haven't. I don't know, and I haven't had a good experience with the 1461. I feel like I've kind of been able to break in a pair of regular Dr. Martens 1490s, right, the boots. But I haven't had a good experience trying to break in these boot shoes. These shoes, they hurt, man. They hurt. The back of your heels, like, you know what I mean? Like derby shoes for me haven't been the most comfortable. So if you can find a good comfortable pair of derby boots you can wear every day, go for it. Neckerchief, that's not a man's staple. Again, I think a neckerchief, if you say it too, I say it too fast, that kind of sounds like a racial slur, innit? Neckerchief, no? Neckerchief sounds like, why does it sound like a racial slur? Don't know why. Anyway, I think the handkerchief wrapped around your neck, right? I personally think, unfortunately, much like the chino, is very dependent on your ability to swag, on your ability to freak, on your ability to dress, on your ability to stunt. I don't think anybody can pull that off. It's also one of those things that, unfortunately, if you're fat as well, it doesn't work. I don't think a handkerchief wrapped around your neck if you're fat works. It looks like a fucking choker, you know? You probably have to be quite svelte and in shape to make this work, and also you have to have maybe a long neck. You have to have, I don't know, it's just one of those things that doesn't work for everybody. So personally, I don't think this is a staple. I don't think this is necessary. I don't think a man needs to have a handkerchief he wraps around his neck as a staple, you know? I think you can allow that. What's another staple they have here? Black acetate sunglasses. I definitely agree with this one, as you guys have known. I'm a big fan of sunglasses. I think more so because of this pod. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really used to wear sunglasses before I started recording content, and I mostly wear these sunglasses because of the classic what's his fucking name, Casey Neistat tip. Early on, Casey Neistat, one of his tips he used to say about making content and why he used to wear his glasses, his Wayfarers, that he kind of paints black and scratches off the fucking thing, was that it helps to kind of cover his eyes, so that if he's recording content and his eyes are dying around the room, it doesn't distract you from paying attention to him. So that's the main reason why I wear my sunglasses. But I've started to feel more comfortable wearing them now. Like, I wear them daily outside and shit. I wear my sunglasses to the gym. I've got different ones I wear to the gym. Like, I look like a fucking freak, I'm sure. People walk past me in the gym, think I look like a fucking freak, but I wear my sunglasses quite often. Even at night, I wear them, especially if I go out clubbing. I've got them on before I even get into a club. So I've become a lot more comfortable wearing sunglasses on the daily. So yeah, I definitely agree. And it's a good way also to kind of shield your eyes from prying eyes, you know? I feel like sometimes, you know, your eyes are the windows to your soul, they say, right? So I feel like you should really guard who sees into your eyes. And for me personally, I don't like everyone just looking at my face. I feel like sometimes sunglasses, although they're very obnoxious, you know, although sunglasses can look a little bit obnoxious, or no, although they can look very pretentious, I feel like when you wear them, people kind of try to not look at you. They try not to give you any hype. They try not to give you any love. They're trying to give you any, so I mean, at least in the UK anyway. So sunglasses, weirdly enough, help to keep people away from you, if that makes sense. Sunglasses help to keep people away from you, if that makes sense. Another one, we've got a Bengal striped shirt. Yeah, I think that works for any shirt, to be fair. I'm not gonna lie, I like that shirt. That's probably a good idea. A utility tote bag, for sure, I agree with this one. I think every man needs a very hard, a very kind of, what's that word called? A very robust tote bag. I see a lot of people with I saw a guy actually walk past my building today. In the depths of fucking East London, right? Carrying a tote bag from, I think, was it Trader Joe's? Is that the one that everyone's carrying? Is it Trader Joe's? Trader Joe's tote bag. I saw a guy literally walk past my, yeah, this is the one, yeah. I saw a guy walk past my building in fucking East London with one of these, carrying this Trader Joe's tote bag, which is kind of really, really popular now and trendy. People are buying this and shit, importing it from America, buying fakes, wherever, and using this as a daily. But if you look past the logo, look past the branding, it is a pretty robust, sturdy tote bag, you know? It looks like it's made of pretty good fabric, pockets on the side, nice shape and size as well. It's not super effeminate, like, you know, or like throwaway like most tote bags. So I think that kind of works really fucking well. So I don't really mind that, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, Supreme actually make quite a lot of good tote bags at the moment. But yeah, you can get really great tote bags from loads of brands. Who's got a really good one? Oh, Benjamin Edgar's got a really good, actually. Benjamin Edgar, big up Benjamin Edgar. I remember Benjamin Edgar, he made a really good one. I think that's sold out now, but Benjamin Edgar made a really good tote bag. Yeah, he had a really good one. He had this one that's in white. Oh, okay, they're available in different, let's see, are they still available to purchase? Let's go on the website. Big up Benjamin Edgar. No, they're sold out, unfortunately. But Benjamin Edgar had some pretty good tote bags. Here, let's go. His Ghost Tote number 1. This again, utilitarian, robust kind of tote bag that can be used, you know, to carry flowers, carry all your fucking shit that you're going to be using on the daily. And I think there's a bigger one too, right? There's a bigger one. I think that might be sold out as well. Let's see. Where's the bigger one? Yeah, that one too. That bigger one, the Ghost bag number 2, is also sold out. Loads of people make good tote bags. I think Braindead make good tote bags, right? Let's see. Is there a Braindead tote bag? Braindead make a good tote bag too. They usually make good bags in general, Braindead. Let's check their site. Yeah, look, see, they got good tote bags here. So a tote bag definitely is one of them ones I'd say is definitely a staple, definitely required. Like this one, right? Would you count? I count that. That's a utility climbing pack, but I would count that as a tote bag shape like thing. But yeah, tote bags are definitely in. I agree with that one. And then you got a Bloodstone boots. I think that goes for Chelsea boots in general. Although Bloodstone boots are a little bit more weatherproof, right? That you can beat them up a bit more, so maybe that makes sense. And they look comfortable too. And 1-of-1 baseball caps as well. So yeah, some good staples here. German army trainers, Ranglan sleeve overcoat. Yeah, this is a really good. This, I think it might be one of the most important ones in the men's wardrobe. I think a Ranglan sleeve overcoat, a nice overcoat anyway, that will definitely change your life and change your appearance, the way you stand, the way you fucking wear your clothes, the layering you can do. Like a good overcoat like this with a fucking jean jacket underneath is like pièce de résistance, you know? You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. So yeah, big up Esquire, man. Some good tips there. Big up Esquire. Some good tips there. Some good tips from Blood Clot Esquire. Esquire. Moving on. Big up Wall Street Journal. Big up Wall Street Journal. Look at this article. The Americans who are going a whole month without buying anything. The Americans who are going a whole month without buying anything. The sub-headline is Google searches for no buy January have hit a 5-year high as Gen Zs and millennials sign up for a thrifty challenge. Pretty cool, isn't it? I don't mind that. Like, again, I think that kind of lends on from the article before about, you know, having wardrobe staples and the misconception that great style means more clothes. I don't think so. I think if anything, like, most of us have what we need in our wardrobe. We might be missing a couple of, like right now, I'm probably missing, if off the top of my head, I'd say I'm probably missing a Ranglan sleeve overcoat. I'm missing a really good leather jacket, and I'm probably missing a pair of really good blue jeans. Like those in my wardrobe I don't have, and yeah, at the moment. But the rest of it I could probably make do. There's probably something in my wardrobe I can make do with the rest of it, you know. I can figure it out. And I think most of us have those kind of things, and especially for me, I have so many clothes that I don't really organize too well, that sometimes because I have them organized in a very bad way, I don't really know what I have, so I can't really even think of good outfits to wear, because the clothes I've come, you know, I don't, some of the clothes are, I can't see them, so they're out of mind, you know, out of consideration. So the last thing you need is to be spending more money on new clothes. What you should be doing is trying to get the most out of the ones you already have available, and not, you know, putting more waste out there into the fucking universe, and, you know, having fucking turtles choke on your fucking hoodies and shit. So let's read the article. Big up Wall Street Journal. This January, Americans aren't just giving up alcohol, they're also giving up buying anything at all. Fueled by social media, some consumers are starting the new year with a no-buy January. It's a challenge to eliminate purchases of anything nonsensical like clothes, skincare products and electronics for the entirety of the 30 days of January. That, I think, might be, weirdly enough, for most people, I wonder if trying not to buy anything new for a whole month is actually harder than not trying to drink. Because sometimes, I know for me in the past, like being so into clothes, sometimes you buy stuff because you're just bored. Sometimes you buy stuff because you're just bored. Like, honestly, you don't even need it, you just buy it because you're bored. So I wonder if some people, like, this is a really hard fucking challenge. Brent Parsons has taken up the idea. His family of 5 is typically mindful of expenses, buying meat on sale at the grocery store and clothing at a discount. This year, Parsons, 44, locked the family credit card. Anyone who wants to make a purchase needs to make a case for why fast food and other potential items are needed. He says, basically, it was like, if we don't take some drastic measures to change our behaviors now, we're going to be in a lot of trouble, he said. I guess that's him and his family there. Low or no buy years or months have gained popularity. Google searches for low buy January have hit a 5-year high in December, driven largely by Gen Zers and millennials, according to the PricewaterhouseCoopers. Meanwhile, social media posts setting the rules typically peak in December, again in January, as purchase avoiders track their progress, the firm said. Yo, being a business owner at the moment must be awful, isn't it? Being a business owner at the moment must be awful. These Gen Z kids don't drink or go out anymore. So I think I read an article or saw something on social about a lot of bar owners have noticed like a significant drop in the amount of people who are like booking, you know, restaurants, booking tables, going out to bars and shit. And I'd even go as far as saying, I bet you if you kind of consulted a lot of your local drug dealers and try to, you know, poll them, you'll probably find out a lot of drug dealers are probably like, shit, I'm not selling as much gear as I used to, because this new generation, they don't drink or do drugs as much as probably previous generations, and it looks like they also don't shop. So it's got to be a worse time to be a small business owner, to also be a business owner in general, selling clothes, in the hospitality industry in general, like, ay. Americans' month-long exercises in restraint have been known to affect sales of everything from razors in November to alcohol in the beginning of the year, and snacks as some take on the month of no sugar detox. A survey conducted by the NerdWallet of more than 2,000 adults found that more than a quarter have tried no spend January, with 12% joining in the trend this year. Nearly 45% said that it feels expensive right now, which might be the reason why people are trying the challenge. And also, there's just too much stuff, man. There's too, like, even someone like myself that's into fashion, there's just too much shit. There's too much shit out there, bro. There's just too much shit out there. Every season there's a new collection. Every year, right? Every year from January to December, there's essentially what, like 4 seasons, or no, 2 seasons. Each brand is going to be dropping 2 different collections every fucking year, right? 2 collections every year. Big brands, maybe 4 collections every year, not including the streetwear brands, not including accessories. There's just too much, basically, clothing slop out there. There's too much clothing slop out there, and not enough people for them to go around. And sometimes just it's better to be like, you know what, I'm gonna tap out of this. I'm gonna tap out of this fucking algo. I don't want to be involved in this feed of like constant clothing slop, and I'm just gonna use what I already have, which is really a really cool version of sustainability if you think about it. Gillian Shea is one of them. Looking at my finances, they look okay, she says, but just emotionally it feels stressful. Shay32 plans to resist buying clothes, skincare products, and coffee and alcohol this month to cut her spending on non-essentials to $300, down from the typical monthly tally of between $1,000 to $1,500. God damn, she's spending $1,000 on like what is it, Shay? On like care, skin products, and clothing. That's a lot of money, bro. Just dropping down on stuff like that is crazy. The one area which wiggle room is eating, typically her biggest area of this discretionary spending. Now she caps ordering meals and eating out to a maximum of 3 times a week. People eat out 3 times a week. I thought you eat out 3 times a month, you know, or maybe, I mean, once or twice a month. People eat out 3 times a week, bro. God damn. Compared to the many as 10%, 10 in the pre-challenge week. To be fair though as well, I also think, should people really be trying to live like rats? Should people really be trying to go without skincare products, go without eating out, just so that they can save a bit of money, so they can live a somewhat good life? Or should we be trying to push our local governments to essentially, you know, improve our living standards so that we don't have to, so our quality of life is improving and we don't have to do these kind of cuts and budgets and tightening of the belts just to enjoy the bare necessities in life? Because this feels a bit lame as well, you know. It feels a bit lame. In order for us to actually have a good life, we have to do without a fucking coffee from Starbucks, you know. We have to do, I'd rather get the coffee. I'd rather eat out. I'd rather get the thing that makes me happy than try and, you know, scrimp and save for a future that isn't even promised, you know. But hey, maybe that's bad financial planning. Who fucking knows? It continues. I don't know if it's just talking with friends and their anxiety is coming off, or the larger economic conversation under the concern with AI and the job replacement, the New York-based digital marketing professional said. I can't quite pinpoint what it is. It's the economy, my dear. It's the economy. You know, and we all know that our money isn't going as far as it used to. £5 doesn't get you much. I don't think £5. Can you even get a meal? You can't even get a main meal for £5. Even in chicken shops, it's hard to find a place where a £5 can get you good food. So £5 doesn't get you as much as it used to. So you're having to spend way more to get way less. So, you know, people are like, you know what, let's just try and save some bits and bobs. But even that isn't working, you know. Even if you're gonna do, even groceries haven't increased, you know. I don't think the price of eggs is lowered since the fucking economy is somewhat stabilized, which has been fucking crazy. So yeah, we're all kind of feeling it. We're all feeling it. Some people are just burying their heads in the sand and hoping it kind of gets better, or hoping things kind of change. I think I'm that person. And some people are noticing and be like, you know what, let's make some adjustments. Despite the weak consumer sentiment, Americans have continued to spend. In November, sales growth from the US retailers picked up, and according to federal data, December's retail sales were up and unadjusted for 3.54 compared to the year earlier, according to the data released by the National Retail Federation. But many Americans say that they are feeling the squeeze after 5 years of persistent inflation, as consumers remain anxious about the affordability and the sluggish hiring. Prices for everything from groceries to insurance and housing are higher than they were 5 years ago, or a few years ago. For Parsons, the strain of rising costs of basics like food and clothing is constant. He lives in Nebraska and works in the information technology, taking home $75,000 a year. As many as 4 nights a week, Parson uses the family's Toyota hybrid to moonlight as a DoorDash driver, making between $15 to $20 an hour. Even with that, he says, we have to make a really big effort to spend less than our income. It just never seems to be enough because everything keeps on going up. Fucking hell. And then you log on to social media and you see some 16-year-old making $100,000 in a month, and you're like, ouch. Honestly, the world is so unfair and it's so tilted. Doesn't make any sense, you know. You see some kid on Kick, see some kid on Twitch, just, you know, I don't know, shooting themselves in the face and making like a meal, and you're like, damn. So yeah, there are some people really working at him, and this guy's a full-time job as a fucking IT technician, it feels like, right? This guy, and he's still working as a DoorDash driver on the side to keep his family, you know, keep his family to look after his family, basically. Can you imagine that? You're working full-time, $75,000 a year, and you still have to have a fucking side gig. You still have to have a part-time job to make ends meet. Crazy. January tends to come with a slowdown in spending after consumers are gorged on shopping for the holidays, and retailers spend most of January trying to push out inventory, cutting prices to tempt shoppers, said Craig Rowley, a senior client partner focused on the retail and consumer sectors at Korn Ferry, a consulting firm. Ashley Piper, the author of No New Things, said the economic uncertainty is the main driver as people pare back their spendings. It makes people want to take control of things, she said, so we can't control fixed expenses like food, rent or healthcare. Piper undertook her first No New Things challenge in 2013. She said that she has seen increased interest in challenges, especially in the past 3 months. To make it a full month without buying, Piper suggests muting or unfollowing anything that encourages spending, like marketing emails or Instagram accounts. I wonder if this also explains why there's been a push. I'm sure some of you guys have noticed. I think I've talked about it before, but there's been a push, I remember reading, of people who are going out of their way to unfollow a lot of influencers, feeling like especially the influencers who kind of like buy a lot of good shit, who during Thanksgiving have these lavish spreads, during Christmas have these crazy gift exchanges and shit. I remember reading an article about it, maybe it was on Random Show, about people kind of being put off by those influencers and going out of their way to kind of unfollow them, because a lot of their lives are like incredibly unattainable. They kind of bum them out about their current situation. It's just not something they want to see on their feed. That kind of like over consumption, materialism, So I wonder if this is kind of playing a part in it. People's temperaments change, like, you know, my day-to-day is kind of, because that also must impact influences into reality TV. Part of the reason why you watch those things is not because you want to point and laugh at people, it's because, you know, you just want some relief from your day-to-day drudgery. But if your day-to-day drudgery is really, really, really horrible, then seeing people having, you know, fun on those type of shows and making money and being rich and famous and fabulous can maybe grind your gears differently. So yeah, interesting challenge. Make sure you check it out. I'll put a link in the description when I'm done. The article is The Americans Who Are Going a Whole Month Without Buying Anything, courtesy of the Wall Street Journal. Continuing on, yo, big up Kiko Kostadinov. I'm not the biggest Kiko fan, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the biggest Kiko fan. The clothes, the people that wear the clothes, him himself is he seems a little bit of a funny dude, I'm not gonna lie. Vibe is a bit weird, you know, vibe's a bit dark, but I have to be honest, these Crocs look kind of crazy. This is a headline courtesy of High Snobiety. Keep it in mind, by the way, keep this headline in mind when you see the picture. These gorgeous leather shoes are actually Kiko Kostadinov's first Crocs collab. This allegedly is a Crocs collab. This is fucking sick. So Crocs, I guess, are going into different avenues and trying to explore different types of footwear and whatever else it may be, and not just sticking to the regular stuff that we know and love from Crocs when it comes to the clogs and shit. We've seen a little bit of that courtesy of Silly Bembry. Silly Bembry's got that crazy amazing shoe called the Juniper, which I still need to get a pair of, by the way. And you still got them on his site. Let me actually check. Big up Silly Bembry. Big up Blood Clot Silly Bembry. But Silly Bembry has the fucking Junipers, which I really do love. Are they still available here? Let me see. Are they still available? Oh no, they're all gone. They're all gone. Oh, he had a pair of black Junipers that I really wanted. Yeah, they're all fucking gone. No Junipers, unfortunately. But let's see. Crocs Juniper. No, Crocs Silly Bembry Juniper. They were really fucking nice. I think they were black, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah, they're the ones I wanted. Okay, they're £60. Okay, not bad. You can buy them actually. They're priced at, they're £60 on sale. They got my size as well. Oh no, it's not women's. Okay, men's. Is that men's? Nice. They got my size. Okay, cool. Bless. Okay, so they're available. So Crocs are already kind of doing some shoes, right? You can kind of see Crocs's shoes that they're already making. So this is not out of the norm. Here are some pictures of people wearing the Crocs day to day. Oh, can that bit come off? Okay, it can. Oh no, that's someone's sock. Sorry, I thought it can come off there. Oh, is that blood? That's blood, isn't it? Right? Eesh. Okay, cool. So that's a Crocs Juniper that obviously Silly Bembry's done. So you know, they obviously are making shoes and not just kind of the clogs that we're used to. But they've also done these crazy shoes for Kiko Kostadinov. Look at those. Look at how cool these look. Fucking great, innit? Again, I'm not the biggest fan of Kiko Kostadinov. I think the guy's got dark energy. Something about him is a bit off. The people that wear the stuff are a little bit annoying, you know, take themselves way too seriously. But these are pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie. I might have to try and buy these, man. Especially in black. I might have to try and buy these. These look fucking crazy. The blurb says Kiko Kostadinov Crocs collaboration. Kiko Kostadinov's Crocs collaboration, sorry. His debut partnership with the footwear company is up there with his best. In fact, the Kiko Kostadinov Crocs debuted in Paris Fashion Week and revealed here by High Snobiety may even be one of the best Crocs shoes to date. Oh, alright, High Snobiety, relax. High Snobiety, let's chill with the glazing here. Kostadinov makes genius, clever, and sometimes downright inaccessible clothes, brilliantly skewed in such a way that more conventional consumers are likely to bounce right off. That's not a diss. It's a sign of a singular voice from a design. Jesus, man, they're sucking him up hard here. Plus, for everyone else, Kiko Kostadinov turns out to be the abundance of excellent, approachable collaborations. More akin to his underrated Camper collaboration. Yeah, by the way, I do agree. The collaboration he did with Camper back in the day, those were fucking hard, innit? Those Camper shoes, those are boots, innit? Kiko, let me see. Kiko Kostadinov Camper. Those shoes were fucking hard. That is true. I do agree with High Snobiety. The Camper shoes were definitely underrated. Didn't get the, like, those boots specifically. I still want those boots. Those Kiko boots with Camper, they were fucking brazy. The shoes were brazy too. He went crazy with these. He actually went crazy. Actually, I should keep an eye out on fucking Vinted and stuff for a pair, because these are really fucking hard. I forgot how hard these boots were. These were really good. He done his thing on that one. Let's continue. Rather than riffing from Crocs' famous clogs, Kostadinov's Crocs, shoe feels more like a maturation of the gallery shoe that debuted in 2025. Here's some pictures of them on the runway. It's sort of like a boat shoe, isn't it? It's sort of like his version of a boat shoe. Oh, they look really good, man. I don't mind that green pair, innit? But the black pair definitely is the one for me. And that tumbled leather too. That tumbled leather or that pebbled leather is fucking beautiful and soft and gorgeous. I'm not the biggest fan of the laces. There's a kind of like Salomon laces, right? With the sort of like, you know, with the little system there. The drawstring little thing there, I'm not really the biggest fan of. Rather regular laces, but that black pair is something serious, man. Yeah, I like these, man. I like these. I'm not gonna lie, I fucking like these. That black pair is something serious. Something serious. Meaty but streamlined, the Crocs gallery shoe looked more like a Clark's Wallaby wearing a foot brace, or perhaps a futuristic boat shoe. Yeah, it kind of also reminds me a little bit of that. What's that Visvim? What's that old school? What's that Visvim boat shoe? I forgot what that. I remember having them back in the day. What were they called again? Visvim boat shoes. What's the name of that shoe called again? Is it Dexuno? What was it called? It's called something. I had this one. Hockney, is it? Yeah, the Visvim. It kind of reminds me of the Visvim Hockney in a way. Do you remember these? I don't think they even make them anymore, do they? Visvim Hockney. Can you get these new? Are these available to purchase new? Can you buy them brand new? I don't think they sell them, do they? Oh, they still sell them. Cool. So you can still buy Visvim Hockneys. They're sold out. They're available in end, but yeah, they kind of remind me of Visvim Hockneys from back in the day. I had a pair of these back in the day, man. What a legendary shoe. Legendary shoe. They still have them, they still have them available in the shop. Okay, cool. There we go. Hockney Folk. 1,000. God almighty. $1,164. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that brown color is fucking sexy though, isn't it? Jesus. That nutmeg brown. Oof. That is a shoe and a half, mate. Yeah, so that the Kiko Kostadinov Crocs kind of remind me a little bit of the Visvim Hockney. I'm not gonna lie. They're kind of giving me Visvim Hockney vibes, but obviously for far cheaper too. Jesus Christos, bro! I didn't know they were this expensive though. Visvim, man. Visvim, man, they do not come cheap. But the boots are so fucking beautiful. The shoes are so beautiful. What's the cheapest one here? Let me see. What's the cheapest Visvim shoe you can buy on the website? The cheapest shoe you can buy on the website is this like a traditional kind of looking sandal thing, right? This, what's it called? The Geta Hickory sandal. That's the cheapest one you can buy, and it's $750. Big up fucking Visvim, man. Big up fucking Visvim. Anyway, let's get back to Kiko. So the black pair, definitely something I'd want. Meaty streamlined. The Crocs gallery shoe looked like a. There's another shoe too. Is that another Crocs as well? This one, is that another Crocs collaboration? That shoe there. I'm not the biggest fan of that one. Kiko Kostadinov Crocs play on the form, but more like a 90s hiking shoe thanks to the grained leather, grain pebbled, whatever that leather is, mixed with materials on the sole unit. The shoe is a looker by anyone's margins. In Kiko Kostadinov's show notes, the Crocs collab is described as featuring architectural lines and utilitarian directness. Indeed, the Crocs collaboration was accompanied by a variety of typically okay, cool. So no idea when they're coming, no idea when they're gonna drop, but they look fucking hard. I ain't mad at them, man. Big up Kiko. Those are fucking good. Those are really, really good, man. Really fucking good. Really, really, really fucking good. I don't mind them. I don't mind them. I don't mind them whatsoever. Big up them. Moving on. Have you guys heard about Prada's hiking shoes? Only Prada could see this much potential in a climbing shoe sneaker exclusive. This is courtesy of High Snobiety again, so big up them. Prada have made their own hiking shoe. Don't get too excited, by the way. Don't get too excited because they do look really fucking good. This hiking shoe, I think recently anyway, I've kind of got into wearing, or I've kind of liked the look of hiking shoes. I forgot the brand that makes them. They make the actual ones that people actually wear to go hiking with a really massive, with a really super high aggressive arch thing. There's another brand also. There's a skate brand, right? I forgot the name of the skate brand, but there's a skate brand that makes like a new type of skate shoe that kind of looks like a hiking shoe. Kind of looks like an AstroTurf. I kind of like them as well. But I just like the silhouette. I like the silhouette in general. I like the silhouette. But this Prada shoe is also really cool because it kind of, again, you know, a lot of style notes from traditional hiking shoes, as you can see here. Nice kind of foldable or kind of, you know, a collapsible upper, the fucking climbing rope kind of thing with the laces, the really grippy outsole as well. Like really nice looking shoe. But then when you go on the website and you check how much they are, you're like, oof, I'm not sure they're that nice. Look at that. £820. It's called the Speedrock. The Speedrock Re-Nylon and Suede sneaker is £820. And let's see, how much is a classic hiking shoe worth? Was it no climbing shoe? Climbing shoes. How much are they worth? The classic. What's that brand? There we go. Scarpa. So a traditional Scarpa climbing shoe is £103. Is that it? £103 if you want a traditional Scarpa shoe that looks, I think, infinitely cooler than the other one. So let me quickly check it. See, look at that. Because I'd actually wear that day to day. I'm not gonna lie. They probably won't be super comfortable, but I'd actually wear that day to day. They actually make. You know what? Thinking of it, wouldn't these make for good cycling shoes? Or am I bugging out? Wouldn't these make for decent cycling shoes? Climbing shoes, I think, would actually work for cycling shoes. I'm not gonna lie, especially the bright colors. People could spot you from a distance. They could probably easily clip into straps, you know, on your pedals and shit. I think these would work well as a regular shoe. But yeah, so the Scarpa shoe is €101, or you can go to Prada and get the designer version of the shoe for £820. Fucking insane, isn't it? Absolutely insane how much money these fucking brands do when it comes to this sort of stuff. It's fucking crazy, bro. Let's see another one. What's another climbing shoe? They've got a brand called Tenaya. There's an Adidas 510 that does climbing shoes. There's a brand called La Sportif. There's a brand called Oaken. So yeah, there's quite cool. There's quite a lot of cool brands here that make some good shit when it comes to climbing shoes, and I'm not mad. But £820 is not the acceptable range. Look at that one there. That's really nice too. This one too, the men's Tarantulace climbing shoe. I ain't mad at these, man. I think they would work really well as like regular fucking cycling shoes. I wouldn't mind wearing them as cycling shoes. I'm not gonna lie. No cap hizzle. No cap hizzle. I'd probably wear them as cycling shoes. But anyway, let's go back to the article and the Prada shoe at hand. Part of the genius of the Prada lies in how the Milanese luxury brand finds the beauty in the quotidian, rather than the newness. And the sake of newness, Prada interrogates familiar objects until they are rendered fresh through its lens. Lived work pants are reborn as slacks in depth, much like the recently revived Monte Carlo sneaker was apparently an opportunity for Prada to remind the world that they had cotton onto the inherent appeal of luxurious flat sneakers. This is what luxury peers attempt to draw an opulence of the world roots, and Prada's wandering eye pulls over any and everywhere. Prada Speedrock sneaker is a surprising reclamation of the climbing shoe. Hyper flat lace up design for to hug and foot, thus allowing for maximum grip. You have to be a real baller to want to buy Prada hiking shoes instead of the regular ones, man. It's not surprising because as an unfamiliar form, but because of how Prada selected to interpret the style, whereas so many modern climbing inspired shoes, which are currently the sneaker biz hot newness. Oh, is there a Keen shoe too? Let me see this one. There's another thing from TikTok too. What's the TikTok one? Let me see this. There's a shoe here from Keen. Show me then. Is it called what? It's called, I saw something here now. I saw Keen something. What do I see here? Keen Jasper. Let's see that. What's a Keen Jasper? A Keen Jasper shoe. That's another hiking. Okay, cool. There we go. Ah, okay. I've seen people wear this shoe. I didn't know this is a climbing shoe. I thought this was like a different version of like a Solomon or something for outdoors and stuff. But I've seen people wear these too. I've seen people wear this Keen Jasper. Let's see what the kids on TikTok are saying about this one. Quickly here, bear with me a second. The Keen Jasper shoe, the ultimate everyday. Let's see what TikTok are saying about these. Yeah, a lot of people love them. Okay, Keen Jaspers are getting a lot of love on TikTok as well. Let's click a couple videos. What's she saying?
2025. This is the Keen Jasper. This climbing inspired sneaker is a hybrid shoe that has the best of a sneaker and the style of an approach shoe. It comes with 2 sets of laces and even has a toe bumper that keeps your toes protected. This sneaker packs a lot of character, so let's go style them. I have denim overalls that I think pair well with the colorway, and I especially love the blue laces that complement the shoe's material. It's made out of environmentally preferred suede leather and can be used for outdoor activities or everyday. I also wanted to show how it pairs.
Introducing a new silhouette to the store from Keen Footwear. It's their classic Jasper Suede. Landed in 2 colours, Cathay Spice Orion Blue, this beautiful contour fitting trainer has a tongue-to-toe lacing system for the ultimate snug fit. Both come with secondary laces. The second colour is this silver mink. I love that red lace pop. Some of these are functional, comfortable, and built to last. Introducing a new silhouette to the store.
They're alright. Actually, somebody got a version of the, was it the Prada? Was it the Prada? Is it Skyrock, right? What's it called? Prada Skyrock, I said, right? Was it? No, Prada Speedrock, my bad. Speedrock. Let's see, someone's got a pair of those. Okay, there we go. Prada Speedrock. Anybody bought a pair so they're wearing? Not looking like anyone's got a pair just yet. What's this lady saying about them?
Don't you just love trekking through the intricate trails of the concrete jungle? Prada has introduced a new sneaker silhouette called the Speedrock. And it's a sneaker designed for the city, but inspired by hiking and climbing shoes. It features this paracord pull-tie lacing system that feels utilitarian, and the rubber sole coating definitely makes it feel more outdoorsy and climbing oriented. I will say that the overall silhouette is pretty similar to the Prada America's Cup design. Definitely
no, it isn't.
Has that similar.
No, it isn't. There's absolutely nothing similar to the Prada Speedrock to the American Cups. Or the America Cups, actually. There's nothing similar to them about them at all, apart from sharing the same brand name. Like, what the fuck is she talking about? They don't look similar at all.
Paneling and separation from the patent leather. And if we actually take into consideration the suede material for the Speedrock, it's on a very similar vibe as the America's Cup.
Come on, man, that's a reach. Here's a picture of an America Cup in suede. Like, so they don't look similar at all.
In suede. So it ends up coming down to small design changes that redefine the shoe. I think it's interesting because they decided to market this shoe in a more hiking aesthetic direction, when in reality I think the shoe aesthetic looks much closer to actual climbing shoes, especially without rubber sole incorporation. A hiking shoe, we definitely see a more perforated and chunky sole, but this instead is obviously very smooth and grippable, much like your typical climbing shoe. Overall silhouette and design feels very similar to this vintage Puma climbing shoe. I think something that would have been cool to also have incorporated further into the shoe is to bring the lacing all the way down to the toe box, which is a very common design feature that we see for climbing shoes that do contain laces. I just feel like Prada didn't quite tap into the full potential of this shoe, and also the shoe itself feels torn between the marketing aesthetic and the design direction.
Yeah, she makes a good point there, but I don't think the point about the America Cup is true. I don't think that. Or plus the £820, man. The £820, bro. The £820. Like, Prada is bugging out with these prices, man. 820. Are you for real? Like, come on, bro. Again, maybe the ones I showed you previously are a little bit too aggressive. If you don't want that kind of climbing guy feel, I get it. But to spend $820 on those shoes is fucking bizarre for that type of aesthetic. You know what I mean? I'd rather not. But hey, what do I know? What do I know? Absolutely nothing. Talking about climbing. Big up Alex Honnold. Big up Alex Honnold, who climbed the top of the Taipei 101 building and took this historic selfie at the top, by the way. Big up Alex Honnold, an absolute psycho, absolute mad lad. Climbed the entirety of that building with no ropes, no nothing, just chalk and good vibes. Just chalk vibes, forearms, grip strength, and just crazy, I don't know, crazy abs or something. I don't know what he fucking did. The guy's a fucking nutcase. But it was streamed live the other day on Netflix. I didn't watch it live. I saw the clips on Twitter and people were going, all the memes people were sharing were fucking fantastic. But look at some of these pictures. Look at some of these pictures people are taking from the live stream. I think somebody noted that in this particular section where he's climbing the building, the skyscraper right in Taipei, there's a section here that looks like a, you know, that's kind of loads of different bars. And somebody mentioned that he could have easily just climbed up this section. This is like a ready-made ladder, but he purposely took the more difficult route of climbing on the outside on this sort of like weird shape on the building to make it way more difficult. Like, absolute psycho, man. Absolute psycho. I think I read an article somewhere said that somehow I think they analyzed his brain, Alex Honnold, and they found out that he doesn't, whatever receptacle, whatever part of our brain that kind of allows us to feel fear, Alex Honnold's part of his brain doesn't have this. It's not the same size as regular people. It's super small. So he simply doesn't feel as scared as we would, you know? That kind of allows him to do all this shit. And plus, obviously, he's a highly skilled, super talented fucking climber. But doing all this with no ropes is just, I don't know, man. I'd shit my pants, man. I'd shit my fucking pants. This is so crazy, man. There's the pictures of him climbing on the side of the building, people inside the building, has been fucking crazy to see. Let me quickly read this. This is a New York Times article. A New York Times interviewed Alex Honnold. Someone says it was pretty funny. Somebody asked him a question from New York Times, but it's not just that you have more to live for, it's that your loss would be felt in a deep way for more than just Sani. He said, kind of. I mean, baby Alice wouldn't remember. Baby June probably wouldn't remember. She'll be 4 in another month. It'd be felt, and obviously it'd be super hard for Sani, but they'll be well provided for. I don't feel like I've been leaving them in the lurch. They wouldn't even necessarily be traumatized their whole lives. I love how logical his mind works, man. I love how logical he is. Yeah, I guess it'll be bad if I die, but you know, at least I made a lot of money. They'll be good. Your dad died when you were 19. What kind of impact did that have on you? I mean, you never really know, because at the time you're just kind of like, that's life and shit happens. It was just kind of a stark reminder that your time is finite. Do you and Sani talk about this at all? You mean what happens if I die? Yeah. I mean, not really. We don't talk about it a ton because obviously it's upsetting for her. We occasionally joke, you know, gallows humor, but about how long she would wait to start dating again. Yo, this Alex guy's a psycho. How hard it would be to find somebody with kids and all that. But that's just us joking around. But do you think about it much? Yeah, I mean, you can't go soloing. Every time you go soloing in the mountains, you consider that things can end quickly. Fucking hell. He truly doesn't give a flying fuck, innit? He's made a different stuff. Look at him. That's him sitting at the top of the building. That's him climbing outside of the building. Like, look at him, man. What a psycho. What an absolute psycho, man. Absolute psycho. And that's a selfie at the top of the building, at the top of the fucking building. God almighty. This is one of the best pictures, actually. This is one of the best pictures. Look at that. Look at that. He's literally hanging off the side of the building. Like, God almighty. What a psycho. What an absolute psycho, man. There's a clip of him on the outside. Look at it. Look at that. Just look at this. Look at this, man. Look at, it's just, I don't know. I don't have it in me to do something like this at all. This is him outside this is somebody inside the building looking at Alex Honnold traverse the side of the building, outside of it, climbing up. This is the scariest one. Look at the upper body strength. So easy. Wow. Wow. So cool. So cool. So fucking cool, man. How did he get down? Did he just get down the same way, or did he walk down? I guess he walked down, right? That's even making my palms sweat right now looking at him at the top of that right now. It's literally making my pants sweat. What a reaction, by the way, right? He gets to the top of it, that's what he just says. Sick! Is that it? That's a reaction. All that hard work. Coming that close to death. Sick. What a legend, man. What a legend.
He's taking a selfie. Because 2026.
Wow. Wow. What a legend, man. What a legend. What a legend. Big up Alex Honnold, man. Big up Alex Honnold. What a vibe, he says. What a vibe. I'm sure it was a vibe, man. Mad lad. Look at that picture. Yeah, one of the craziest white boys of all time. Look at that picture, man. Crazy guy. Look at that picture. Look at that picture. Truly psychotic. Not like the rest of us. Really is not like the rest of us. That's fair to say. This guy is not like the rest of us. It's fair to say he's not like the rest of us. I can't imagine ever doing something like this in my entire life, man. Honestly, bro. I cannot imagine. I'm scared going up ladders, you know what I mean? Man's scared going up fucking regular ladders, let alone shit like that. Let alone shit like that. Oh, what's it? My favorite Alex Honnold autism clip. Let me play this and then we'll move on. It's an old interview.
How do you get a baby up the mountain?
Well, hiking around the back is like no issue. That's just, you know, yeah, 8 miles in a backpack. If I have to ascend the ropes on the side, then it's the same thing. The baby would be in the backpack, but he would also just be wearing a little harness, and then he would be like independently attached to the ropes, separate from the way I'm attached. And so then I would just be climbing the ropes like normal, which is not very hard if you know how to do it. And then the baby would just be backed up. I mean, I think it'd be totally fine. Like, I honestly don't think it'll be any problem.
And then how will you come down? You can hike back down, right?
We'll all rappel down the ropes.
How do you get a baby to rappel down the ropes?
Put him in the backpack, same thing, I think.
Can you describe, just so they know? So how do you rappel down with the baby?
Well, so I would be rappelling just like normal, but I would have a backpack with a baby inside it, and then the backpack, or the baby, would be independently backed up to the rope, like separate from my system. And so then it's like, basically I'm just carrying a baby, but in case anything happens to me, the baby's backed up. I mean, so it's not like I've ever done this. I don't really know. Like,
how do you get a baby?
Autism king, man. Autistic king. Our spectrum king. Our spectrum king. Our spectrum fucking king, man. What an absolute legend. Big up Alex Honnold. What an absolute fucking legend. There's one more clip I want to show you where he kind of, people see him from the inside and you see his fucking rock hard abs. Where is it? Let me see. Someone must have that clip in it. Where is it? Is it where you see his fucking abs? Because he is ripped, that's for sure. Let's see if we can find it. Someone must have this clip somewhere here, right? Yeah, that's the one. This is the one. You see this one? This is the one. Obviously, he had to be ripped, isn't it? You can't do something like this and not be ripped. Oh, gosh. Look at the fucking abs on that guy, bro. Rock solid. All the Asian guys were waving at him and stuff. Putting him off a little bit. Let him focus, man. Let him focus. Let him focus. But yeah, big up Alex Honnold, man. What a fucking legend. What a fucking legend. What a fucking legend. You gotta love him. You gotta love him. You got to fucking love him. Yeah, let's quickly move on there. Big up everybody in the stream chat watching as well. Big up big up Shades there. Big up Shades. Well one. He's crazy logical, exactly. Big up Don Dota. I'm sure it's totally okay to climb up mountains without risk of allergy sickness. LMAO, exactly, yeah. I've never actually done it before. I'm just, hypothesizing, but that bit at the end is brilliant. I've never actually done it. I'm just, just shooting, just shooting some ideas here. Big up WCK. He took the elevator. Oh, he took the elevator down with his wife. Good to know. Big up Don Dota. I wonder who the first IRL streamer will be to copy this feat. Please don't let anybody. Please, God. Please, no IRL streamers copying this. Please, no. Please, no. Please, no. Dope feat by him. It's somewhat only something only white people do. Yeah, that's a sad thing, isn't it? I think oddly enough, black folks will probably be quite good at it, especially when it comes to calisthenics and upper body strength and all that shit. But I don't think you're gonna find many black people that will be willing to do that. But I'd imagine in the bouldering world and whatever, I'd imagine quite a lot of black people probably enjoy bouldering, especially the ones that like to do calisthenics and bodyweight exercises and shit. Like that stuff probably is quite fun. But to get someone to then climb up a side of a building, whole different ball game. Whole different. Oh yeah, big up on 10 toes. That's the shoes I was talking about. Big up on 10 toes. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Village PMs. That was the shoe I was talking about. Big up on 10 toes. I'll probably talk about it next episode. I'll probably go into a bit of a deep dive because I actually want to buy a pair. So I'll probably do a little bit of a deep dive into Village PMs on the next episode and talk about them. But I like that brand as well. They're a new skateboarding shoe brand that does a shoe that doesn't really look like a skateboarding shoe, but it's made in a way that's meant to kind of, be very fully optimized for skateboarding and shit. And they kind of look a little bit like climbing shoes. Yeah, big up Village PMs. Big up Village PMs. But yeah, let's move on. Also, this was a few weeks ago, but Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were on Joe Rogan. Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were on the JRE. And I have to be honest, this might be one of the best episodes of the JRE in recent history. It was really fucking good, really fun. They were on there promoting their movie called The Rip. That's on Netflix at the moment. I ain't watched it at the moment, don't get me wrong, but it was a really good episode regardless because Ben Affleck and Matt Damon have been friends since they were little children and shit. So they've got a really close bond and they're very well spoken, especially for actors. I was super surprised to see to hear how intelligent they were on various subjects, very well informed, very opinionated. A lot of actors don't really like to, say a lot. Part of the acting gig and job is to be a little bit mysterious and to kind of keep your opinions to yourself, let the character speak, But I thought Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were fucking great guests for JRE. And funnily enough, Ben Affleck was incredibly well versed when it came to AI. Obviously, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck speak very well when it comes to the movie industry and all that malarkey, but I was very surprised to hear how on point Ben Affleck's observation of the current landscape of AI was. This is a clip taken from the Jerry episode with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, where Ben Affleck talks about AI and shit. Really good, man. I recommend you check it out. Again, if you haven't been checking out Jerry episodes like most of us, right, we've all kind of been a little bit annoyed by Joe Rogan's recent change, but this episode definitely would warrant going back and checking it out. Really good episode.
See is like, for example, if you try to get ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini to write you something, it's really shitty. And it's shitty because by its nature it goes to the mean, to the average. And it's not reliable, and I just can't even stand to see what it writes. Now, it's a useful tool if you're a writer and you're going, what's the thing? I'm trying to set something up, or somebody sends someone a letter but it's delayed 2 days and it can give you some examples of that. I actually don't think it's very likely that it's going to be able to write anything meaningful, and in particular, that it's going to be making movies like from whole cloth, like Tilly Norwood. Like, that's bullshit. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's not. I think it turns out the technology is not progressing in exactly the same way they sort of presented it. And really, what it is going to be a tool. Just like sort of visual effects, and yeah, it needs to have language around it. You need to protect your name and likeness. You can do that. You can watermark it. Those laws already exist. I can't sell your fucking picture for money. I can't. You can sue me, period. It kind of feels to me like the thing we were talking about earlier, where there's a lot more fear because we have this existential dread. It's going to wipe everything out. Right. But that actually runs counter, in my view, to what history seems to show, which is adoption is slow, it's incremental. I think a lot of that rhetoric comes from people who are trying to justify valuations around companies, where they go, we're going to change everything. In 2 years, there's going to be no more work. Right. Well, the reason they're saying that is because they need to ascribe a valuation for investment that can warrant the capex spend they're going to make on these data centers with the argument that like, oh, you know, as soon as we do the next model, it's going to scale up and be 3 times as good. Except that actually ChatGPT 5 about 25% better than ChatGPT 4 and costs about 4 times as much in the way of electricity and data. So those, when they say that's like plateauing, the early AI, the line went up very steeply, and it's now sort of leveling off. I think it's because, and yes, it'll get better, but it's going to be really expensive to get better. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people were like, fuck this, we want ChatGPT 4, because it turned out like the vast majority of people who use AI are using it to like, as like companion bots to chat.
Or the vast people like myself are using AI to help me write snappy YouTube titles. Like most of the titles I'm now writing, or most of the titles I use for my YouTube clips and shit, I get from AI. I'd be like, hey, ChatGPT or whatever, could you please rewrite this in a snappy YouTube way? Could you give me one that's clickbaity, one that's punchy, one that's informative? And they're pretty good. They're pretty fucking good at rewriting YouTube titles, or, you know, enhancing a picture and shit, removing somebody from a picture. The other day I used Gemini to identify some tracks on a DJ mix that I wanted to record, and I had like some tune IDs I couldn't figure out, so I just whacked a fucking SoundCloud link into it, and it just gave me a list of the track lists and shit. So yeah, most people aren't really using AI for anything worthwhile, you know? We're all kind of fucking around
with at night, and so there's no work, there's no productivity, there's no value to it. I would argue there's also not a lot of social value to getting people to like focus on an AI friend who's, you know, telling you that you're great and listening to everything you say and being sycophantic. But that's sort of a side issue. This particular purpose, like the way I see the technology and what it's good at and what it's not, it's going to be good at filling in all the places that are expensive and burdensome and they make it harder to do it. And it's always going to rely fundamentally on the human artistic aspects of it.
I think he's right. I think the really scary thing, I think, artistically as well, I think what we saw, similar to Ozempic, I think there was a theory, or there was a belief, maybe it's just my interpretation, but I felt like early on when Ozempic was first introduced to the market, I felt like a lot of people believed that it could be used as a tool to help people along their journey in weight loss, help them to get healthy, help them to kind of, you know, stop, you know, to kind of cure themselves of diabetes, whatever the issue was. But what ended up happening was that Ozempic was just used as a kind of, you know, all-encompassing tool to just lose all the weight and get you to the place where you want to be, as opposed to, no, use this tool, use this in as the same way you're using along the way as you're working out and shit. People didn't do that. Same thing goes with AI. I think the way to utilize AI, if you're a creative and you're, you know, let's say you want to write a script, is to use AI as an assistant to kind of help you along the way as you're writing your script, but you're still writing it. But I think what people actually want, the truth is what they actually want, they want to be able to write some prompts and then be able to spit out a fucking whole entire script, whole entire fleshed out idea, and then present that to a production company and get that greenlit and get that fucking put on TV and shit. No one actually really wants to do the work. That's the truth. If you want to do the work, I think using AI can really elevate what you already do creatively. It can definitely elevate it, but I think it can never act as a substitute, because what, like Ben Affleck said, it always kind of reverts back to the mean. And obviously, if you want to make exceptional things, you're going to have to make stuff that's like, obviously, a little bit above the mean. So where people kind of come up short a little bit. But I think if you can use it as a tool to help what you're already doing, it's going to be fucking sensational. But if you're kind of using it specifically just to do something for you because you're too lazy to do it or you can't be bothered, then I don't think it's going to work out too great. But yeah, I recommend you check out the episode. Really good episode featuring Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. Really, really good episode. Moving on in, moving on up, moving on in, moving on up. Let's talk about a little bit here. Pick up A$AP Rocky. A$AP Rocky's album, much delayed, much anticipated album, Don't Be Dumb, dropped a couple of weeks ago. I forgot to review it and give you my opinion on the whole entire album. Just a quick one, really. I thought it was okay. I thought it was a lot better than I expected it to be. I did go into the album thinking it was going to be pretty trash because ASAP Rocky's albums specifically haven't been that great. And since he's been on a 10-year hiatus and shit, his sound hasn't really developed that much. The game's moved on a little bit. I was kind of feeling a bit worried that he took too long out and that the music that he'd be coming out with wouldn't be too great considering how the climate industry sort of changed. But I thought he did a good job representing what he does well artistically. I think the album sort of like split in two. I was maybe a bigger fan of the latter end of the album. I think the second half of the album towards the end, I was probably more of a fan of. The first half was more what you'd expect from ASAP. But unfortunately for him, I thought the first half, you clearly noticed that the production were carrying him. I felt like the first half, some of the production on those tracks, like Helicopter and shit, like incredible instrument, like it's just as an instrumental, fucking phenomenal records. But weirdly enough, I think A$AP Rocky kind of ruined them. Him and his raps and his presence on the tunes, I think actually ruined some of those records. But I thought the second half, that was a lot more like alternative, a lot more kind of like pushing the boundaries and not traditionally rap. I thought he did a really good job. I would actually like, it's not going to happen though, but I would like to hear him try to make more alternative music anyway. I just don't feel like he offers anything as a rapper that is interesting enough to listen to. But I feel like when he tries to do the alternative thing, he tries to kind of push the boundaries. You know, I think of that tune called Sundress from back in the day that he did. I thought that was really that was a bop. It was almost like a Tame Impala-esque. I think it was a Tame Impala sample, wasn't it? That song Sundress he did back in the day. Fucking fantastic. But when it comes to the raps, when it comes to, you know, taking part and trying to keep up with some of the kids, I don't think he has it. And unfortunately for him, I think he's just too successful outside of music for it to really matter. That's what I really felt listening to the album. It kind of felt like he didn't really, you know, nothing's really on the line for him anymore like it used to be. The hunger's not really there. I feel like he doesn't have anything interesting to say, personally. I feel like he's not, don't get me wrong, no one really goes to A$AP Rocky for bars anyway. You're not really going to him for bars, for introspection, but still, I feel like he didn't really have much to say. And the things he did have to say, I didn't believe him. You know, when he tried to talk a bit bossy, tried to talk a bit like, you know, you don't really believe him because he's literally a father of three. He's a married man. He's kind of settled down. It's hard to believe him when it comes to some of the other braggadocious type of bars that he's kind of known for. So that was the only problem of the album. It's more so his life has sort of moved on in a direction where it's quite hard to separate himself as a person, as a family man, as a grown up and shit, as a father, as a partner, husband, whatever. And then the music he's trying to make, it doesn't really match that well. But I think for his live shows and his tours, this is going to do really well. I think this album is going to bang crazy on live shows. It's going to go fucking crazy. The mosh pits are going to be crazy. I can imagine the visuals, the dancing, the production of the stage shows. I think he's going to kill it on tour. If he's able to go on tour for this album or do the festivals, because Rocky's still a big pull, especially in Europe. A$AP Rocky's a massive draw in Europe, man. I remember when I saw him play at Primavera. I didn't go specifically for him, don't get me wrong, this one year, but he was on the lineup and it was so surprising to see how crazy. Obviously a lot of the girls just like him and what he looks like, but when he came on the stage, man, the fucking energy in the crowd was wild. I was like, wow, Rocky's actually a big star, man. You forget how like well known and well regarded he is. So I think for the sake of his set list and stuff and giving fans maybe more interesting new things to listen to, I think for live shows this album's gonna go really well. But unfortunately for, you know, fans of his album, I don't think it was worth the wait. I don't think this was a 10-year wait album, you know? It kind of felt a bit flat, a little bit underwhelming in that respect. But I think the live performances were fucking crazy. The live performances, the activations, the videos for this album, phenomenal. Like whoever handles A$AP Rocky's creative direction deserves an award. They killed it. The creative direction of A$AP Rocky's albums are like, look at this video. This is for Helicopter, right? Yeah, this is a Helicopter music video for Don't Be Dumb. This music video, the treatment for this, like, I can't even begin to imagine how he shot this, the idea behind it, but so creative, man. So fucking well done. Fucking phenomenal. the utilization of like computer graphics and I don't know CGI and green screens and I don't know After Effects. I don't know what else was done here. Like just crazy, so fucking cool, so well done, man. One thing that I say as a criticism, weirdly enough, I feel like sometimes these music videos don't really match his tunes. You know, is that a weird thing to say? I feel like sometimes the effort that goes into A$AP Rocky's music videos and presentations don't really match his songs. That's the only thing I'd say as a slight criticism, but I still think he kills it with the production, with the videos. Like, look how creative this is, man. So fucking cool. He absolutely killed this video. So the video treatments in that are fucking phenomenal for the album itself. What else we got here? What's this? Another clip. Don't Be Dumb Out Now. Black and Demand. Let's play this one. Yeah, big up A$AP Rocky on that one. What's this one? What's the video? This is Whiskey Black DeMarco. Yeah, this is one of my favorite songs actually. Is that towards the end of the second half, right? Yeah, there we go. Whiskey Black DeMarco. That's a really good song too, actually. I didn't mind that. And that video is again another creative one too. Very, 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 very well done by A$AP Rocky there. And then of course the music, the live performance on SNL. He performed a record called Punk Rocky, another one of the decent enough singles on there on SNL, and he killed it too. This is a really good performance by Rocky as well on SNL. Let me play a bit of that as well. Actually, why is the sound so low? Bear with me 1 second here. Okay, that's why the sound is quite low on my headphones. My bad here. Boom, let's go there. The hair roller Mohican. The hair roller Mohican, bro. The hair roller Mohican. So clever. Like, who thought of that? So creative. Look at that. That's so fucking cool. Hair roller Mohican. Fucking a big up blood clot A$AP Rocky. Last thing on A$AP Rocky. Let's play this clip. This is courtesy of Academics. Big up Academics. Maybe one of the best interviews I've heard with A$AP Rocky. Maybe one of the best interviews I've heard with A$AP Rocky. Unfortunately, Academics' audio wasn't that great. I don't think he had a mic or something. It was a bit sketchy, but really good interview. Surprisingly, Rocky's a real big fan of Academics, you know. From the sound of the interview, Rocky knows a lot about Academics' live streams. He seems like he watches a lot. He's tapped in. So I feel like it was a really good interview because there was a lot of mutual respect between the both of them. Although I do think Rocky did a good job of like calling out, you know, Academics for some of the stuff that he does he's not a fan of, but I thought it was a really good interview and they spoke quite in detail about, you know, A$AP Rocky's beef with Drake and that back and forth and shit. And I thought A$AP Rocky gave a very good kind of explanation on his side as to why he feels like him and Drake fell out, because it was quite disappointing because, you know, Rocky, I think Drake might have took them on their first big tour in it together. They were kind of always kind of close, you know, back in the day. And then obviously some people would hypothesize that because Rocky ended up getting very serious relationship with Rihanna, that might have affected their relationship, you know, between the two of them. But Rocky throughout this interview basically states that he's never been the biggest fan of guys who let women get between them. He thinks that's some like sucker shit. Feels like, you know, men should be able to get over that sort of thing. It's not a big deal. And he doesn't really have a problem with, you know, Rihanna dating Drake in the past. He feels like nothing that she's done in the past is his business. There's nothing he can do to affect it. It is what it is. Just kind of move on. But he feels like I think from what he's basically trying to say here is that he feels as if like Drake didn't move on or accept it. He still kind of felt away that Rocky was, you know, seriously dating Rihanna at that one time and you know, to this day. So this is a really good explanation and idea. And again, I'm sure this is not the whole truth. I'm sure there's another or another interpretation. I think actually Academics shared it from his side of things. I think Academics found out after the interview was recorded or after the interview was published, sorry, he was spoken to by somebody in Drake's camp and they gave their version of events as to why the relationship kind of deteriorated. But interesting explanation anyway. A$AP Rocky explains how he believes the beef with Drake started.
I knew you was going to ask this question. I was waiting for that.
What's your opinion on, like, first of all, the situation, and then there's some more.
Let's talk about it. I think, for me, I'm just keep it a stack with you. Like, I thought old boy was my man. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was my dude.
Drake.
Like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? I first met him and it was just like, he seemed embraceful and shit and all that. Like, you know what I mean? We went on tour with him.
Yeah, did music together, some great songs.
Yeah, right? And it's just like, I don't know, like I think when I got with my girl, he just started throwing shots out of nowhere. Like I just woke up and just felt like he was just throwing subs and shit. And then
I started before that.
Nah.
It was completely normal energy before that.
Bro.
I think y'all beefing with women, honestly.
I think so too, but I don't know.
But it starts before Re.
I don't know. Perhaps. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, niggas know how I give it up. Before my girl, nigga, I'll fuck your bitch. Like, that's what I was doing to niggas, you know, respectfully. And maybe that might be it.
That's why
nigga, we all, everybody do it to each other.
Oh, fuck your bitch respectfully is fucking crazy to say, but if you know about Rocky pre-Rihanna, you would know he was out here in these streets. He was wilding. He was going. I still remember there was that video, innit? Who's that? Remember the video of him fucking? I don't know why that leaked. Back in the day, again, pause, no homo. But I remember there was a video of his. There was a sex tape of his that was leaked one time. When Rocky was single, he was out there. He was outside. So I'm sure there's some truth to it. But him saying I'll fuck a bitch respectfully is fucking crazy.
What? That's player. Listen.
So if we're going to talk, so you supposedly were romantically involved with his baby mama, right? Before then, and yeah, I think
that's some player shit, by the way. You know, that's some real player, gentleman, don't kiss and tell shit. Academics like, yeah, you were involved with his baby mom back in the day, right? And Rocky just sat there, just looking deadpan. You don't say yes or whatever. You don't confirm or nothing. Whatever you think, but I'm not gonna. There's no kissing and telling here. That's how real men should be moving. You don't kiss and tell. Men don't kiss and tell. But that was a really good answer, really good approach there by Rocky. Big up Rocky.
That's natural. Where someone's like, you know, obviously probably it was no malicious shit, but yeah, it gets a little odd there, right? Like where, yeah, you my man's, but like you may hit my BM, like get a little odd. So that's what I'm saying.
Nah, bro. Yo, listen. For a nigga like me, bro, I'm not the first nigga that fucked my girl or my baby mother or my wife. Somebody predates that.
Exactly.
Get off that sucker shit. What we talking about right now? Females sound like some female shit. We sound like females talking about females. Exactly. That's crazy.
So you didn't feel any way about his past with?
I don't care about nobody that predates me. Like nobody. That was before me. What the fuck I'm gonna do? Go back in the hands of time and rewrite history?
I've never really understood why that's such a big thing within hip hop. Because a lot of these guys, academics included, they're very self-conscious and insecure about girls and their histories. They're very inquisitive about, even the streamers. They always want to find out, oh, how many rappers have flown you out? Who have you been with? I've never understood why that's such a concern, because surely if you're in that space, you have to assume whatever your taste is, right? If you're attracted to a certain type of lady, right? You'd have to assume that most people within your industry or scene are probably have the same taste or probably are attracted to the same type of woman you're attracted to. So the likelihood of those ladies being involved with somebody that you know is probably high, but you don't care because you like them. So I've never understood the idea of like, oh yeah, I can't, she's with a rapper. It's like, okay, then what are you going to do? Are you going to go find a regular girl? No, you're not though, innit? Because you don't have time. You don't have the time to find a regular girl. You don't have the access to find one. How are you going to find one? Like, it kind of, I think part of the reason why a lot of rappers probably all fuck the same girls is probably not because they're all kind of weirdly obsessed with each other, but I reckon part of the reason why a lot of rappers fuck the same girls might just be because those girls are always around. And they're somewhat easily accessible, and they kind of know the game. They don't act brand new. They know how to behave in certain situations. So yeah, I've never really understood this. I've never really understood this anxiety these guys have with like sharing the same girls. I don't really get it, because they clearly all have the same taste in girls anyway. So if you have all the same taste in girls, you're definitely gonna fuck the same girls. You're definitely gonna have cross paths at one point. And if anything, it shouldn't really matter what the previous guy did. It's about what you do. That also does. I mean, it's about, who cares what the previous guy did or who the previous guy was. What are you doing with that person in your time with them? How are you treating them? right? If anything, you want to do a better job in terms of how you get treated or how you look after them, so you leave a good impression, you know. So, but I'm not gonna touch you because a rapper touched you is like, come on, man, grow up.
Niggas be too insecure and dwelling on stupid shit. What the fuck that got to do with me? That's crazy. If that's the case, it'll be like, I don't want her mad at the whole world. If she like.
Rocky put up some numbers, boy. I don't want her mad at the whole world, yo, Rocky. Rocky's basically saying, without saying, his body count is high. That's what he's basically trying to say. Rocky's trying to let us know without letting us know that his body count is in the high triple digits, maybe 4 digits.
Like what we doing?
Okay, but all right. So walk me down the timeline. Because I thought you were taking shots, like y'all both were taking like little subliminal shots.
Man, nah, gangster.
So he just mentions you. What song did he mention you on? Was it Push-Ups or was it like the last one?
I don't know. He been talking about niggas, bro. He been talking about niggas throwing shots before the Kendrick shit and all that, bro. Talking about a nigga, bro. Talking about my girl. Talking about he just.
Was there Heist before that?
I don't even know what that is, but I'm just saying, like, is that the shit he was talking crazy?
Yeah.
He was talking crazy. You feel what I'm saying? It's just like this.
So y'all
like,
must have had a little subliminal. Every time I've seen, and maybe I'm giving him too much credit. And
you probably are. Listen, I know how much you favoritize that nigga. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. You got to get off that bias shit too.
That's not a word, by the way, favoritize. But I like how you called him out on this, though. I do like how he called out Academics' fanboyism of Drake. I do like it. I do like how he called him out in this regard. And to be fair, Academics also does this thing where it's part of his interview technique. It's part of his way to be disarming, where he pretends to be oblivious to certain things. He knows what's going on, but he does the whole plain dumb thing to kind of, you know, elicit more responses out of somebody. So I'm sure he's very aware of what Rocky's talking about, but he's just trying to play dumb in order for it to be a more, you know, entertaining, thorough interview, I guess.
Gangster, you be too, but nah, you not fair. Like, only time you fair is when in your system and you behind your computer desk. That's the only time. Other than that, you not fair all the time. But you my mans though. I fucks with you. But look, like, keep it gangster with you, bro. 2020, where Drewski hosted the whole that nigga got me a Yams chain and like, yo, bro, like, you know, like, you my brother. Like, I still got the chain. I still cherish it. That's my, you know, he remember Yams. You know what I mean? Like, he came to Yams Day. He was there. You feel me? Like, that's 2020, gangster. Like, me and Shorty was locked in. That's where everything is subsequent after that. That's where all the shots start happening. That's when I start seeing niggas saying funny shit. And
you never did nothing.
What, like shot at him?
Yeah.
Never.
Because, you know, sometimes as rappers, it might be like, oh, you trying to act like, oh, he got a one up on me.
Like I would have to be a sucker nigga to think like that. I don't move like that, bro. You can't see by that ain't my style, gangsta. I know it's kind of hard to tell now, but like, why I gotta do that for?
Okay, and this don't sound like I'm definitely like being biased, but you know his style is always kind of like hating on the next nigga. Like, it is kind of style. If it is, the music is like, yo, that's a nigga you chose. Like, yo, what's up?
Nah,
that's kind of been part of the. But
that's a good point, though. He did make a good point. That is a very, very good point. Even as a Drake fan myself, part of Drake's like style is, I won't say hating, but he does do a lot of the really that guy. You know, he's one of those type of dudes. You know, really him, like, which is, I think, dirty macking. Dirty Mac, that's a form of dirty Mac. I think as a man, you should never downplay another man in order to get the girl. You should always just fight for the girl with your strengths. Bring what you have to the table, but don't downplay another man to get your foot through the door. But I think the stuff that Drake does is sort of like a way of dirty Macking. Like, really, him? You know, like, huh? Over me? Like, it's just a bit like, you know, don't do that. You know, I mean, you just present what you can present yourself in the best possible light. Make it known what you can bring to the table and let the girl make her decision. But the whole player hating, dirty macking thing, I'm not really the biggest fan of. But, you know, Drake loves to remind his girls, or the ones that maybe didn't choose him, like how much they fumbled, you know. He does like to let people know. He does like to remind those girls, like, okay, you fumbled because I'm this person. I got this. I got that. Your guy's this. Your guy's that.
I respect that music, nigga. I'm in real life, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna fuck your bitch. Keep playing with me. Like, that's how I give it up. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So those shots kind of happen. You're kind of ignoring all that shit.
He's dead ass as well. He's dead ass too. I love Rocky. He's dead ass. Keep playing me and I'm gonna fuck your bitch.
And then the battle starts. And then
the only reason I said something was because I felt like he took a shot at my girl.
But why'd you pick that though?
Because hear me out.
So he I think he explains it pretty well. Academics then, I think there's a clip of Academics where he basically explains from his side of things what he's heard, that the reason why they fell out is something else. Let me see if Drake's putting some pictures up on social media. Fucking hell, Drake. Lovely picture there. Oh, Carti's in Paris. Carti just landed in Paris. Nice. Carti just landed in Paris. Love to see it. So, where is it? Where's the clip? There's a clip of Academics talking about why. Yeah, there we go. There's Academics. Here's Academics explaining from Drake's camp why the beef between Drake and A$AP Rocky started. I don't know. Again, I don't know who to believe. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know who to believe. Rocky says he feels like Drake changed and started to act funny style, tries to throw shots at Rocky when Rocky and Rihanna's relationship became more serious. But in this explanation from Academics, after the interview was published, he says people in Drake's camp are saying the reason why him and Rocky fell out is because on Yams Day, that 2020 day, right? On Yams Day, when Drake was there at Yams Day, he was meant to perform. But last minute, Rocky or somebody within Rocky's camp, decided not to let Drake perform because Rihanna was there. They didn't want Drake to like perform, do a good job, show up Rocky and impress Rihanna. I don't know, whatever. So since then, Drake has been looking at Rocky a bit funny. Like, why would you invite me to this thing and then not let me perform when you wanted me to perform? You know? So let's watch the clip. Big up Academics.
Obviously, I guess Rihanna's a part of the mix. I heard a different story. And Rocky, obviously, I know you probably don't want to do the back and forth, but I heard a different story in light of the information that you said on the interview, right? So the information that I got told, right, by some of the mandem who, you know, they be around the boy, is saying that year that Drake, and I want to see if, I know all the fan pages are going crazy with this. They're going to either prove it right or prove it wrong. Because I didn't know Drake was here. They said everything was cool with Drake and A$AP up until this point. And Drake invites Rocky invites Drake to come to Yams Day, which he clearly did. You see him here, picture. And supposedly, who's also in the building is Rihanna. And I'm guessing this around 2020, I don't know the status of Rocky and Rihanna's relationship, but whatever. But supposedly, right, Drake was supposed to touch the stage. I hear that Drake doesn't touch the stage. He is not, I don't know if it's permitted, because obviously it's Rocky's event, it's Yams Day. I don't know if it's not permitted to touch the stage, or he's not given the opportunity to touch the stage. Okay? Now, I'm being honest with this, because I'm telling you, this is word from the mandem. Okay? They're saying this was not really like a thing, but this was something where Drake is like side stage while he's watching this Yams Day. He flew out there to perform. For whatever reason, I think him and his people believe it's because Rihanna's there and Rocky or whatever Rihanna, they don't have him perform. And to the point, he's side stage kind of watching the whole event. Rihanna's kind of there. She's over there smoking allegedly. And you know, the idea and the thought, and they're trying to tell me it's a quote, but I don't know if this is a thing. They're saying Rihanna acknowledges even to Drake. He says, yo, damn, you're supposed to perform. And Rihanna acknowledges saying, yo, oh, I get it. You're not going to perform because it's insecure dude.
Now, even if this is true, even if this story is true, this still is not enough for a beef, man. This is why it's really disappointing how they fell out, because think about it, right? This is not enough for you to have like war, for you to have like beef, not be speaking to each other, making diss records about each other. Like, a miscommunication or a change of plans or a crossing of the wires shouldn't be enough to start a full-blown beef between two camps, really and truly. Because even if this is true, even if it is true that maybe lastminute.com, Rocky and his camp fought against letting fucking Thingy perform, this shouldn't be enough for a beef. This should just be explained like, hey, you know, we changed plans, there's not enough time, But if this is the reason why the whole beef has started, it's kind of fucking lame, I'm not gonna lie.
This is what I'm hearing from the man, I'm gonna be honest, okay? I ain't made this up. So I'm hearing that's kind of where things get a little bit odd, right? Which obviously, like, let's use our brains here, people. If Rocky says A, let's say, you know, all the cronies around Drake say B. The truth is like A and B combined. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. That's kind of the truth. So maybe that's a little bit where they now start seeing like it's a little bit, okay, there's a little tension here.
Anyway, that's Academics explaining that. Big up Rocky though. I recommend you check out the interview. Really good. It's on Academics' channel. It's on DJ Academics' main channel. Make sure you check out the interview. It's a really good fucking interview. I think it's like 2 hours long, if I'm not mistaken, right? Academics Rocky. Let me just double check so I can let you guys know. Academics Rocky interview. Oops. I think it's about, let's see. Yeah, it's about two hours 22 long. It's really fucking good interview. I really recommend you check it out. It's a really fucking good interview. Academics and Rocky, Academics and ASAP Rocky. Cool. Let's move on. Let's do an update about Sneako and Clavicular. So I spoke about this before in the previous episode of the Action Zinga show, that Clavicular, Andrew Tate, Sneako, Fresh and Fit, Tristan Tate, Andrew Tate, all went to a Miami club and they legitimately broke the internet, or broke the, you know, they went viral for that entire week because they decided in their wisdom to get the DJ to play Kanye's very controversial Adolf Hitler song, right? Heil Hitler. I think that song now is not available on streaming platforms. I'm pretty sure it never was available on streaming platforms. Ye has gone out of his way to kind of walk that song back. I think the official title of that song now is Hallelujah. So instead of the title being Heil Hitler, it's Hallelujah. And I'm pretty sure that Ye is in recent months, has made an effort to visit rabbis and reach out to personal friends of his who are Jewish and really walk back a lot of the anti-Semitic shit he was espousing a few months ago, a year ago, whatever else it may be. But that song still lives in infamy. A lot of his fans love it because it's such a risque, crazy, very offensive song. And I guess for those guys who I mentioned, who like to be very freedom of speech, very kind of contrarian, and just kind of, you know, going out their way to kind of upset people, you'd assume that song would obviously be a song that they would want to do. But for whatever reason, that particular week, that song just, you know, that whole affair caught fire, it went viral, and it unfortunately for some of the people in the group, it resulted in their widespread ban across loads of Miami clubs. So this is what we're going to be talking about now. So the aftermath of those guys playing the Kanye, the Ye, Heil Hitler song in the club was that Clavicular and all those guys are banned from all Miami clubs, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure maybe even Fresh and Fit, but Clavicular especially, whose content revolves around a lot of clubbing because he looks maxi and shit. He's going out to clubs trying to pick up girls and whatnot it may be. And I watch a bunch of his streams, so that's going to hurt him. And Sneako also does a lot of like club streams, hanging around for his content too. So that's going to hurt him too. So it's been a pretty big mistake from those guys, because it's fundamentally hurt their reputation over there in America, in that Miami scene. It's probably ruined a lot of their relationship with other people who were friendly with people in that kind of Miami club infrastructure thing. And it's also exposed just how controlled that whole hospitality entertainment industry in Miami is by a certain group of people. You know, we're not going to mention who they are, but it's been a very eye-opening thing to kind of see from the outside looking in just how much control they kind of assert across that entire industry, where after one video they could just click their fingers and basically get those guys completely blacklisted from all the clubs. And it's real. This ban is real. I've watched a bunch of Clavicular streams recently, and I've seen him go out, do his IRL streams, and he's tried to go to clubs and they've all said no. Obviously, sometimes I watch his streams and they don't let him go in because he's got a camera, but I've seen a lot of clubs make a point to say there's been a memo, an email sent around to all the clubs. You're not allowed in any of them until you're basically, you know, until further notice, basically. So he's been permanently banned from all the clubs. And the really sad part about this whole story, somewhat sad part about this story, for some reason, Sneako has been blamed for this. It's really strange, because if you watch this play out when it originally happened, Sneako wasn't the one that got the DJ to play the song. To begin with anyway, I always assumed the DJ played the song himself. I just assumed the Miami DJ in that club or in Vendome was obviously knew that Tate, Sneako, Clavicular and all those guys were in the section, and to kind of, you know, as some DJs do sometimes, if they see Drake in the club, they'll play a Drake song. I just thought the DJ was just clever and on point and whatever, and reading the room and play the song just to be a bit controversial, obviously to kind of appease the people in that section. Soon after it happened, it transpired that we found out, you know, through just rewatching the fucking stream again and listening closely, that they were playing the song in the Sprinter van on the way to the club anyway. Right? They were all playing it and singing along, we'll sing along to it, but laughing along to it in the Sprinter van. When they arrived at the club, I'm pretty sure it was Myron and Fresh from Fresh and Fit who were discussing if they should go to the DJ and request that song as one of their songs throughout the club. Like, okay, it doesn't matter when you play it, please play it when we're here. And then obviously it was played and it went up and it went crazy. But if I'm not mistaken, it was one, either Fresh and Fit or both of them who were responsible for the song being played, not Sneako. But for some reason, in the aftermath of this whole debacle, Sneako's being blamed for playing the song, and he's now being like kind of excommunicated by that group. Andrew Tate's kind of turned on him. Andrew Tate went on PBD podcast and blamed Sneako for playing the song, and basically, you know, said that he had nothing to do with it, and he found the song offensive, which made people think that's, you know, Andrew Tate is now compromised and has been told to kiss the wall, for lack of a better term. So it's created a whole load of drama between that whole group of people again. But let's kind of play it out as it went on. So as soon as that event happened, as soon as the whole thing went viral, the club itself, Vendome, posted a statement on their Instagram. A follow-up statement said the following: after the investigation of what happened to figure out who was responsible. Vendome official statement on their Instagram: Vendome has completed its internal review of the unfortunate circumstances and the event that occurred in our premises and has taken decisive action. The isolated incident involved 3 people which have been terminated from their employment and are no longer affiliated with Vendome. That, I feel like, is the most heartbreaking part of the story. I don't think the heartbreaking part of this story is the fact that Sneako has been blamed. I don't think the heartbreaking part of the story is that Andrew Tate sold him out and snitched on Sneako even though he didn't do it. I don't think the bad part about this story is that it's now exposed how maybe compromised Andrew Tate may be and might not be such a freedom of speech warrior as he likes to be, as he likes to proclaim it to be, or top G and shit. That's not the saddest part. The saddest part of that this story is that 3 people that work at that club as like a, you know, as their regular fucking gig got fired off the back of this. I don't think that's fair, because most likely the guys with the clout, with the fame, with the money, they're the ones that were pushing for that song to get played in the club, and the people that work there just wanted to, you know, make sure their patrons, make sure their clients, their customers are having a good time, and they acquiesced this. So I feel like it's really sad that they get to pay that price, and it's really funny that you don't really hear a lot of these streamers talking about these 3 employees that lost their jobs, because, you know, they're having to now find new employment. They might be blacklisted too from other clubs who work in the hospitality industry in the first place. So heart goes out to those 3 employees who got fired. You did not deserve that. Vendome has a zero tolerance policy towards anti-Semitism or any other form of discrimination. We have also permanently banned the individuals involved in the incident from the Vendome premises. They are no longer welcome at our establishment under any circumstances. So basically they're saying that everyone in that group is banned. Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, Clavicular, Sneako, Fresh and Fit guys, and the other dude, I forgot his name, that they hang around with. They're all banned from any Vendome premises. Although Vendome is not aware of in advance of the incident, however, it should have never occurred. Vendome has implemented new protocols and safeguards, including strict content controls, enhanced management oversight, and a zero tolerance enforcement policy to ensure our venue is never used as a platform for discrimination, hate, anti-Semitism, or any other behavior harmful towards our community. So essentially, that one fucking stunt has now probably fucked it for every other streamer, every other IRL streamer over there who wanted to maybe go into Vendome to do content. Because it looks like a kind of, you know, the club that you can kind of fuck around with your camera, because all those guys had their cameramen in there and it didn't seem to be getting bothered. So Vendome, I guess, had a pretty lax, open-armed approach when it came to live streamers and content creators. But now, because of that one incident, they've now fucked it up for everybody else. Again, super selfish, you know, and really unfair for everybody else that's going to follow. We recognize that the real harm in this incident may be caused to the Jewish community and to Miami Beach as a whole. Vendome remains committed to providing the respectful, inclusive space and environment for all members of our community, and we will continue to act accordingly. So really sad news again for the 3 employees that lost their jobs. That's one of the aftermaths of it. Another aftermath is obviously this news report courtesy of 7 News, I think, over there. And this is Sneako reacting to Channel 7 News, you know, covering the whole incident and the backlash around it. But you can see progressively his mood kind of like lowers as he gets more depressed and figures out that he's legitimately banned from all these big clubs in fucking Miami. It's kind of crazy. Go on, play.
I cannot believe we're even seeing this and witnessing Miami Beach.
A Miami Beach nightclub catching heat, accused of celebrating hate with a song about Hitler.
Absolute disgust. Disgusted, horrified.
City leaders reacting to videos
Oh my God, dude.
making the rounds on social media featuring the Kanye West song with the lyrics Heil Hitler over and over again. The safeguards and procedures to make sure this doesn't happen again. As for the men in the video celebrating the song.
Celebrating the song? Dude, we're just turning up and niggas can't even go to the club anymore. Hey, Channel 7 News, why are you hating out from outside a club? You can't even get in. You can't even get in. Just a couple niggas in the club. Are we celebrating Doja Cat when it comes on? When Ice Spice comes on and I'm having a little fun and she's throwing it back, am I celebrating? Sexy Red comes on. I don't promote what Sexy Red sings about. Her music is ski. It's good in the club. I'm looking for the hoes. Yeah, obviously what she's doing is not positive, but it's like, it's a song, man.
The mayor has this message.
It's disgusting. It's shameful. And you are not welcome in Miami Beach.
Am I banned from the fucking Miami Beach? What are you talking about? I'm banned? Whoa.
Celebrating the song, the mayor has this message.
What?
It's disgusting. It's shameful. And you are not welcome in Miami Beach.
How do you get banned? How do you get banned from a city for listening to a song? What are you going to do about it, first off? Like, there's nothing American. There's nothing illegal. We didn't commit a crime. There's crime in so many of these places and you're going to ban people for listening to a song. Ban someone from a city. El Yap. Look at the fucking guy. Bro, you realize like this stuff like this just makes the song have more aura. More people are going to want to listen to it.
I don't think so. I think most people have now seen the cost of playing that song, because legitimately I watched a Clavicular stream after where he tried to go into clubs in Miami and literally every single one told him no. So I don't think people are going to be willing to play the song for the sake of playing it and for the sake of freedom of speech if it means it's going to completely destroy their ability to go out to clubs and bars and restaurants and cocktail bars and shit. They're not going to do it. So if anything, this has actually had the necessary effect, I think, for most people. It's probably scared them into compliance. Another clip here features Andrew Tate defending himself against allegations of selling out Sneako. Again, this is really, like I said, it's really unfair. Sneako's a lot of things, but he definitely wasn't responsible for what happened. There's a clip that shows Fresh, I think, in the Sprinter van before they get to the club, saying specifically he's going to tell the DJ to play the song. Fresh, I think, is a person, Fresh or Myron, but I think specifically Fresh is the one that tells the DJ to play that song. It's not Sneako at all. But for some reason, Sneako's getting blamed for it. It's pretty bad, man. I'm not gonna lie. I feel bad for Sneako, man.
People are saying you sold Sneako out, saying that Sneako was the person who played the song in the club, and I thought that was a little out of character for you. But with everything you've just said, having been through a lot, it's just kind of like, let me avoid another tragedy.
Yeah, the problem with talking about him is he likes it because he needs it for his stream. So he's going to take this clip and he's going to sit on his stream to his few viewers and he's going to make a big deal of it. First things first, I don't think I sold him out, and I'll tell you why. Firstly, he hasn't been my friend for a very long time. He's not my boy. He's not like Tristan. You know, I hung out with him years ago when he was emulating me, trying to be me, desperately. I made his career by speaking to him. Otherwise, he would have stayed a nobody forever. Instead of showing me thanks for that, he started, every time I wouldn't reply to his texts, go on stream and cry in some way and complain about me. It was very bitchy. It was very weird. Like, he'd beg to be my friend one side and then do a stream insulting me the next side. Back and forth, anything for views. Very strange. And I'm not the only person he did it to. And then I said to Tristan, anyone who names themselves Sneako, like, you're naming yourself Sneaky. Imagine I was saying, hey, my name's Rat. It's a fucking shit name, and it's...
I don't know, man. I'm actually surprised, but not surprised, because there's real money on the line. It's been kind of wild to see these guys who are like, you know, purport to be anti-cancel culture, anti-woke, never double down kings, triple down, quadruple down kings. It's really interesting to see them all infighting, squabbling, selling each other out, throwing each other under the bus, you know, and not kind of not trying to like essentially hunker down and sort of like defend each other. It's been really wild, especially Andrew Tate, because he literally went out of his way to, because I think he might have started the rumor that Sneako was responsible, because I think he went on PBD soon after the whole viral nightclub incident. And he specifically said on PBD that he thinks Sneako is the one that played the song. So it's been pretty wild, because it's kind of revealed just how, you know, compromised Andrew Tate might be because of his willingness to basically throw Sneako under the bus and blame for something they didn't do because of his quote-unquote overlords.
Weird. So I was like, you know, I'm not going to talk to him anymore. So I didn't talk to him for 4 long years. I'm going to avoid this guy because he's just weird. And then I get to Miami, I speak to Clav, and Clav is with Nick Fuentes, and he begs for Sneako to come. And I said, Sneako's weird. Begs and begs and begs. Here we are. Who's on the internet insulting? Sneaky. Sneaky's now on the internet with an opinion. Luckily, he doesn't matter. Sneaky doesn't matter. When this controversy's over, he's going to have to go back to making videos no one watches and trying to find some other controversy. He's not in business. He's not making any money. He's not close to the Trump family. He's not moving politics. He's not, no Hollywood actor wants him. He isn't connected to the royal family in Dubai. He isn't doing anything. He's not in a position where if he says the wrong thing, the royal family in Dubai will say, sorry, you can't have your political protection and your golden visa. Sorry, we can't give you the Emirati passport anymore. Like, he's at such a low level. He doesn't even contemplate the world above him. He doesn't understand why some people can't do what he's doing.
He's explaining, he's basically trying to justify why he sold Sneako out, why he snitched on Sneako, why he blamed Sneako for something that he didn't do. It's kind of wild to see this version of Andrew Tate. I'm not gonna lie. Again, I don't know much about Andrew Tate, but from what I know about him, I know of him to be this, like, you know, stand on what I stand on guy, double down, never apologize, anti-cancel culture. So you'd think just because, you know, they're being cancelled, he'd want to, you know, support his brothers in streaming, in content creation, in right-wing grifting, but instead he's saving his own skin. He's saving his own skin, mate. He's saving his own skin, and he's appeasing his lords and his kind of, you know, people that control him on his side, I think. Another clip here is Sneako gets a little bit emotional. This is after the fact now, while talking about people who's switching up on him. So I think this is him realizing that there's no friends in the entertainment industry. This is Sneako realizing that there's no friends in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, just like from my perspective, we can move on for this. I need to finish my monologue. I've never seen this many people switch on me, bro. I've never seen it happen. I don't have a lot of people supporting me right now. There's a lot of pressure from a lot of different angles. Perhaps I'm too paranoid. Stop being a baby, bro. I'm just tired of seeing me personally, I'm tired of seeing the disrespect and everything.
So yeah, Sneako's feeling it, man. Sneako's feeling it. Sneako is out here feeling it. And like I said, they're legitimately, and this is a clip. This is a clip of Myron or Fresh Story talking about playing the song in the club, right? So yeah, that's Myron talking to Fresh saying, go see if they'll play HH. Myron tells Fresh, yo, Fresh. We need HH.
Yo, let's kick the ugly bitches. He's gonna get them to play HH. Oh, hell yeah. Bro, when we open up the fucking band, I've never heard that song played at the club. Yeah, you know how long? We made it happen. I swear to God. How the fuck do you guys do that? When I go out of New York, I always try to get the DJ to play, and they were fused. No, they won't. They were fused because they can get a shut down. Crazy. Dude, you gotta thank Fresh. Fresh hooked that one up. He was like, yo, we need this played, and they had to go on Rumble, get the link, but we made it happen. I think the dudes that own the club are Arabs. Oh, yeah? Yeah, they're like, yes, let's go. I can't believe we heard that in Miami. Yeah, it was lit, dude. Bro, seeing Myron throw up Roman salutes in the fucking club.
Crazy, isn't it? And then Sneako got blamed for it. I feel bad for the guy, man. I feel bad for the guy. Then Sneako got fucking blamed for it. Fucking crazy, crazy situation all around. Crazy situation all around. And this is a clip of Clavicular getting denied entry in a club. Show you the proof that he's actually legitimately banned while he's on stream. And I think it's worse for Clavicular. The other guys probably don't care that much, but I think it's worse for this guy because a lot of his content, a lot of his IRL streams are based around going to clubs, picking up girls to fuck or to just get on camera while he's doing his desktop gambling streams. You know, a lot of it is based on that. The interaction with the girls in the club, the pictures, the whole shebang. So him getting banned from Miami clubs is going to severely, you know, you'd imagine impact his potential to make money, go viral, become more famous, blah, 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 blah. And he looks like he generally enjoys going to these Miami clubs as well. So it's probably going to really, really bother him.
Brother? You know, because of that, because the whole thing, you know, you can't be inside, either upstairs or here.
Because of the song?
Yeah, yeah. I know it's, well, I get it, but it is what it is. Yeah. So, you know, just getting your heads up.
So, pressure from, what, Grutman or something like that?
No, I don't know about who. It's just the way it is.
Do you know who's like pressuring like all the clubs to do that?
I don't know. That's above
what
I'm aware of, what I know.
I get it. All right, I got you.
So I wish you a good night and sorry.
No worries. Hey, Rampage. They're sitting there. What?
It said white shirts not allowed on property.
Shut the fuck up.
No, I swear.
What did they say? White shirt?
No, actually, you're here.
You're being 100%?
Yeah. But then they said, is it just 11 or is it still 2?
Is that true? No white shirts?
No, it's him.
They're talking about me. Oh, I thought they meant like white shirts.
So you're not allowed to wear white.
No. It's because of that. I'm infamous.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I don't know if they're just saying 5'11".
So yeah, crazy, man. Clavicular banned. But the crazy part is this. Look at this video. This is the craziest part for me. This clip is probably the craziest part. So this guy called David Einhorn and a guy called David Grutman. I know who David Grutman is because I remember he's got a hotel he owns with Pharrell. And I think he's a big hospitality guy, David Grutman dude. I'm not too sure who David Einhorn is. Let me actually check it out. Let's find out who David Einhorn is. But I know the David Grutman guys are a very big guy when it comes to hospitality. Let's see, who's David Einhorn? This guy called David Einhorn, who's an American investor. It seems like here. Is it David? Let's see, David Einhorn, Miami. Let's see what comes up there. Yeah, it looks like he's a big Miami dude, right? He's the owner of Pappy Steak Miami. This guy, David Einhorn. Looks like he's probably got a lot of money. Yeah, there we go. This is the guy, right? So this guy is very important in Miami scene. He's got a picture here sat with fucking what's his fucking name? Kushner and Trump's daughter. Blah 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 blah. And he's also big friends with this guy called David Grutman, right? Who's also a big hospitality dude. So both of these guys have banned Clavicular and those guys from going to clubs in Miami, which is a big deal because they own all the clubs, right? They own all the fucking clubs. There's Grutman in the booth with Blondish, right? So these are huge people in nightlife industry. Oh, by the way, look at Blondish's face, bro. She's drinking a lot of alcohol, isn't it? Fucking hell, that face is bloated. So yeah, let's look at what they say during a stream with Jack Doherty. Look at what they say about how Clavicular and those guys can get unbanned. They have to go kiss the wall in Israel.
Grutman, how are you? Nice to meet you. Wow. Pleasure to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you, Mr. I saw you at Clav's band, though. Yes. Clav's band. They're all banned. We're good. Yeah, what would you have to do to get unbanned? What's it look like?
There's a process.
There's a process.
You gotta go through a lot of process.
Yeah.
You gotta go to Israel. You gotta put the paper on the wall. Yeah. Because it's not us. It's people. So you gotta get the people to unban.
That's true. That's true.
Isn't it interesting though how they own the entertainment? Like it's fascinating, isn't it? It's just fascinating how many Jewish people seem to be so entrenched within the hospitality industry. Like they run it legit. So if they say no entry, no entry. Like they can turn your lights off. And yes, don't get me wrong, that video, that guy's kind of like half joking, tongue firmly in cheek. He's kind of giggling a little bit. But it also wouldn't surprise me if Clavicular and fucking Sneako do want to get their ban lifted, they probably would have to go to Israel. But I would love to know what the connection is anyway with nightlife and Israeli people. You know what I mean, I would love to know why do so many Israeli people seem to be so involved in the entertainment industry. I would love to know what the reason is. There must be a specific reason. But yeah, that's the recent update, and that's how it ended. That's the recent update, and that's how it. Oh no, it ended, and I guess Clavicular did get into one club. He got into some Mexican club. He got into some random Mexican club. He was able to get into, but apart from that, he's not been able to go back into the random Miami clubs that he knows and loves. Unfortunately for him. Unfortunately for him. Cool. Moving on. Let's talk a little bit about Renate. Big up Club Renate. Big up Berlin Club Renate unveils a lineup for their soft reopening following lease extension and refurb. Let's read this article courtesy of R8. Berlin Club Renate has announced the lineup for the soft reopening weekend taking place on the 30th, which is this weekend. The 30th and the 31st will be the soft reopening of Renate, featuring Amy Dabbs, Bell Towers, David Fogarty, Sam, Sedaction, and Luca Carluccio, among others. The team behind the Friedrichshain venue warned that it was at risk of closure before securing a lease extension for the current location last month. Renovation work has also been taking place with the green floor closed. Browse Instagram events listing for more details. So let's check this out. So yo, big up Ashley Cummings. Appreciate you. Big up Ashley Cummings. Big up the queen that is Ashley Cummings. Thank you for the super.
At Ashley Cummings Yoga donated $1.99 through super chat. I love you, Maury.
I love you, Maury. I love you, Maury. Yo, big up Ashley Cummings. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Big up Ashley Cummings in the stream chat. Appreciate you. I love you, Maury. Big up the texter chat. and big up Ashley coming. So let's check out some of the pictures here from the soft reopening. So what do we have here? Soft reopening. So this is the dates when it's going to reopen. There's the flyers, the Friday the 31st. You got Amy Dab, DJ Chi-Chi, Olive, Sam, Hannah Barteg, someone called Multifan Salty DJ playing. Okay, nice. I ain't mad at this. Actually, let's check out what some of these guys play. Big up Hannah Barteg, but Hannah Beartig. What does she play? What does Hannah Beartig play? What's some of her? Yeah, there you go. That's her playing somewhere, right? Is that her playing somewhere? Yeah, what does Hannah Beartig play? So housey vibes. Big up Renate, man. I think when I'm there in February, when I'm in big Berlin in February, I think I might have to check out Renate because this is some nice housey vibes. There's not a lot of places in Berlin where they play housey party vibe type of things. Everything is dark, techno, industrial, big black boots, everyone going fucking crazy. So it's quite nice to see someone playing, you know, some softer stuff, some funner stuff, some happy stuff, some flowery stuff, some smiley stuff, some non-black clothing stuff. Yeah, cool. She looks good. Big up Hannah Barteng. She looks really good. Cool. So that's her vibe. So she'll be playing there. Big up Hannah Beartig. However you pronounce her name. Apologies for fucking that up. A lady called Sam. Big up Sam. Let's see what she plays. What does Sam play? Big up Blood Clot Sam. What? Is there any clips of Sam playing? Let me scroll down. There's a picture of her there. Any clips of her playing? Let's see. No clips of Sam playing, but she plays. Oh, there it is. There might be a clip there. Oh, no clip, unfortunately. No clip, unfortunately. But big up Sam though. Any clips on the reels here? Doesn't matter. Big up Sam. And then the other people will just quickly scoot by. Let's do one more. This person's called DJ Chi-Chi. What do they play? What does DJ Chi-Chi sound like? DJ Chi-Chi, what do you sound like? Any clips of you playing? Not really. But yeah, you'll be in for some prizes. You'll be in for some prizes. And then some pictures of the reopening, I guess, inside. Or the renovation that they're doing. You see there. Mark your calendar. Renate is reopening on Friday. That's right. We're already back for a new year of fresh energy. Come be a part of this new journey as we create a bright future for Renate together. From now, the green floor will be closed for a very suitable future while we under renovation. But the rest of the club will be operate as normal. Everything will feel the same but different. Same venue, same good time. Tickets are online at Resident Advisor. Grab yours to be a part of the memory. So yeah, great to see. And all the comments are really excited. Everyone seems to be really hyped about it. So that should be a good one. There's some dates already there for the reopening. So big up Renate. Big up Renate. Big up Blood Clot Renate. In London, my hometown, in London, Fabric shares program for their up-and-coming season. Fabric has shared their program for their up-and-coming season. Fabric has announced a stacked program of events for the first few months of 2026. So what do they have coming up, Fabric? This weekend past, actually, or last weekend past, there's a Fabric Live with Morgan Seartree, Lala, Ellie Skulag, and Hold a Corner Records. This weekend coming up, who do we have here? We have Fabric Live with the Metal Messiah featuring Novelist. Grand Mixer Travs presents Killer P. On the Saturday, we have Raresh, Sugar Free, Bin. Ooh, this is a good one, isn't it? Raresh, Sugar Free, Bin, Mary, Annie Wall, LOD, Adi, Acid, Dominga. Let me actually save that to my bookmarks. That might be a good one actually to check out. What's happening there? Am I signed in? Yeah, I'm signed in. Why is it not letting me fucking save? I need to save that. But that one with Bin and shit looks like a good one. On the Saturday, okay, cool. I'm saved. There's a Marsh event as well. Let's see, what's a good one to pick out here for the up and coming months? The Fabric Night on the 6th is quite good here. NTO, Lalu, Destruction Boys and Descendants. You got a Quantum Sound listening event happening on the 10th of Feb. Who else is here? There's a Who's That featuring Era, Funk, Becker and Who's That on the 15th of Feb. There's a Junior Night happening on the 21st. Defected Night happening on the 27th of February. Decent. Alien oh, this will be a good one. Alien Communications Night happening as well on the 28th. This next day, featuring Sonja, Monera, Helena Half, D, Tiffany, and Matthew Johnson live. That's actually a pretty decent one too. So quite a lot of good dates here. DJ Tennis is playing also on the 21st of March. Featuring Red Access, Paramida, Luke Alisi, Andre Zimmer, Matissa. There's a Continuum Night happening with Craig Richards, Nobu, Gabriel Kwarteng, Willow, and Mass. Oh, that might be the best one here so far. I think that might be one of my favorites, if I'm gonna be honest. This one right here. I'm not mad at that one. The Continuum featuring, and I think that's the one that goes on here till 4 years. Oof. Jesus Christ, Willow, DJ Masada, Gabriel Kwarteng and shit. Yeah, that one I'm on. That one I'm on. Big up Fabric for those dates there. Big up Fabric for those dates. What else do we have here before we continue? Bear with me a second here. Sad news for people that host videos. Vimeo is gone, unfortunately. Vimeo begins layoffs. Vimeo begins global layoffs following acquisition by Bending Spoons. By the way, big up Bending Spoons, man. European tech group, they've been buying a lot of companies, isn't it? I feel like this Bending Spoons conglomerate, this fucking company. I'm pretty sure they're European based. They've been buying a lot of like weird tech companies recently. Big up Bending Spoons. The platform confirmed the second round of cuts following the European tech group's 1.3 billion takeover. So Vimeo is officially over. Vimeo's began laying off staff across its. I don't know. Maybe I'll take that back. Maybe Vimeo isn't over, but it looks like the operation, what it was before, has definitely shrunk. They're probably going to be able to try. They're probably going to try their hardest to just operate it with a very lean set of staff. That's what usually happens when you acquire a company, isn't it? You get rid of all the staff to save the money, cut cost, and then try to operate with as few people as possible and absorb whatever those people are into your own company in the tech, and eventually shut it down. But yeah, Vimeo was the OG platform if you wanted to like host like very high bitrate videos, like 4K and shit. Back in the day, there'll be a lot of like really arty movies. Loads of people used to always host their short movies on there. Maybe because back in the day you couldn't post a lot of like longer form YouTube videos, so you'd probably lose them on Vimeo. But I remember I think I still got my Vimeo somewhere. I'm pretty much sure I got my Vimeo. The Milan-based technology holding company confirmed the layoffs this week per Business Insider. Though it declined to disclose how many roles have been affected, the cuts come just months after Bending Spoons completed a 1.38 billion purchase of Vimeo in November. Me personally, having spent a lot of time working in startups and been around when companies have been acquired, I think it goes without saying that if you work at a company and they get bought out by another company, start looking for another job. Start looking for another job. Very rarely does that mean when a company gets bought out that you're going to keep your job. Usually the cuts are going to come, redundancies are going to come, so you're better off finding another job, or at least accepting in your mind that the end is going to come soon. You know, usually, because if I buy a company, you know, I want to do what I want to do with the company, and usually involves firing a bunch of people, because salaries usually make up a huge part of, like, you know, money spent on the company. So that's definitely a good advice, I think. This is the company's second round of redundancy since September, when Vimeo reduced its full-time headcount by 10%, citing the need to improve focus on operational efficiency in SEE filing. Bending Spoons has expanded rapidly through acquisitions this recent years, buying companies like Evernote, Meetup, WeTransfer, and announcing a 1.5 billion deal for AOL in October. Wow. Big up Bending Spoons, man. The firm has previously made deep post acquisition cuts, including significant layoffs at WeTransfer. Founded in 2004, Vimeo has long positioned itself as a premium ad-free alternative to YouTube. It's widely used by artists, record labels, and festivals for hosting music videos, live streams, archival content. And in recent years, the platform has expanded further into paid tools. Yeah, I've watched many documentaries on techno on there. I've watched interviews, seminars. You know what I mean? Like a lot of stuff on there. Small short films. I made a couple of my own little shitty short films back in the day on there that I hosted. So yeah, RIP Vimeo, man. RIP Vimeo. RIP Vimeo. Gone but never forgotten. Gone but never fucking forgotten. Another news courtesy of Fabric. Also, big up DJ Tennis. DJ Tennis announces Fabric Mix. DJ Tennis announces his Fabric Mix, which will be available on the 13th of February, so one day before Valentine's Day. Nice one for the lovers. Fresh off his recent cameo on HBO series Industry. Episode 1, by the way, he's on there. DJ Tennis is in the club scene in episode 1 of Industry. I think episode 3 should be out today, if I'm not mistaken. The full mix arrives on February 13th, but the lead single I Want to Know with Ashi is out now. The larger track list features tunes from Dejram, Paru, and someone called Andre Zimmer. DJ Tennis collaborated with artists including Eliza Rose. I know Eliza Rose, she's from the UK. Red Access last year, and sets embark on an Asia tour later this month. He'll play dates in Thailand, Japan, Dubai, and more during the run. Actually, let me listen to the single. I haven't heard this single. This is his Fabric Mix is dropping on the 13th. So this is the Fabric Mix. As you can see, the cover. I prefer if that brain was real. To be fair, it looks kind of AI. It looks kind of AI-ish, but it's a nice little cover there. DJ Tennis with a brain on the plate and a fork next to it. I know he's a bit of a foodie himself, so I'm not sure what the link there is, but let me listen to the first track, the first single from DJ Tennis's Fabric Mix. It's meant to be dropping on the 13th of February. The track is DJ Tennis and Ashi. Is called I Wanna Know. Yeah, decent track. Big up DJ Tennis. Big up DJ Tennis. Big up the stream chat, by the way. Eduardo Madeira, unfortunately not my friend. No random show today, but I'll be back again tomorrow. I'll be back in tomorrow. No random show at the end of this show, but I'll be back again tomorrow with random show, but no random show at the end of today's show, unfortunately. But we'll be back again tomorrow. Do not worry. We'll be back again tomorrow. We'll be back again tomorrow. Okay, cool. I think that's it so far, right? I think I've done there most of what I need to be done there. I'm not going to lie. So we're gonna leave it right there. Big up everyone for tuning in. Big up everybody for tuning in. Appreciate every single one of you. It's been a pleasure, never a chore. Please smash the like button, hit subscribe if you don't mind. Like I mentioned to Eduardo Madeira, we're going to be back with a random show tomorrow. A nice long extended one as per normal. 4 hours minimum of the random show. Make sure you tune in. There'll be a Patreon also going up tomorrow with the Bert Kreischer show, Free Bert. I've done a couple of reviews for that already, so if you want to watch that with me, make sure you tune into the Patreon. It'll be dropping, I think, maybe in the evening, so keep an eye opening. There'll be an episode of the bonus episode random show on Patreon where I review episode 1 and 2 of Free Bert. Episode 1 and 2 of Free Bert will be out tomorrow on the Patreon, so make sure you tune into the Patreon, subscribe. It's only $1. You get access to my entire Patreon archive, so make sure you jump on there. And then later in the night, we'll do a full random show for those of you that like that kind of stuff. Everybody else tuning in, thank you for joining. Like the stream if you can for me, that'd be greatly appreciated. Also, just to let you know that if you're listening via the audio side of the podcast, you'll be hearing my song of the day. My song of the day is courtesy of the great band called Geese. They've been very hyped this last couple of years and shit. They put out a really good album last year. They're on SNL the other day. Really like Geese. They're playing they're playing live in London, I think, in March. I'm not gonna lie. Tickets are already sold out, but I'm gonna try to maybe get there lastminute.com. But Geese, new track, or no, Geese, not new track, but old track. But this is my song of the day. It's by Geese. It's the track is Au Pays du Cocaine. Au Pays du Cocaine. Au Pays du Cocaine. Courtesy of Geese is my song of the day. Playing for those of you that like to hear the song of the day. If you're not listening via the audio side of the pod, you won't hear it. But if you're on Kick and you're on Twitter, you will hear my song of the day, which is Geese, Au Pays du Cocaine, playing for those of you listening. Everybody else, especially the YouTube viewers, it will just fade to black, so you won't hear it, unfortunately. But switch over to Kick if you want to hear it, and I'll see you guys again later on. Big up everybody. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you greatly.